Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Welcome back to a live fan call-in show. I told you yesterday I'd do one, and here we are doing one. So this is an opportunity for anybody that would like to phone in and have their say. Maybe they want to vent. Maybe they want to tell me I'm an idiot. Maybe they want to debate something. Whatever it is, this is the chance to do it. What I would say is, please, can it be Spurs fans to begin with? Otherwise, what happens is I let fans on from other clubs, and a lot of the chat get a little bit bored because they want to hear Tottenham talk. So at first, please, can I have Spurs fans on? I'm going to put the link in the chat in a minute. Anybody is welcome on. Anybody. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, and it doesn't matter what your opinion. I almost encourage it to be opinions that are different to mine. Maybe you like Ange and you hate my opinion and want to challenge it. Maybe you hate Ange and you want to agree. Maybe Levy In, maybe Levy Out. Maybe unhappy about Solanke opinions or Romero opinions. Whatever it is you want to talk about, this is the chance. So make sure that you join. Let's go over some ground rules, please. If you come on, you will only be allowed on if your camera is on. If your camera is not on, I have no interest on letting you on the show. You must have your name there, and you must be wearing some clothes. It goes without saying. Also, please be somewhere quiet. If you've got 4 kids running around in the background, please don't come on. And if you're walking through a shopping center or something like that, please don't. So smash the like button. And as I said, at first, please let it be Spurs fans at first. And then after that, I'll happily open the floor to anyone else. But this is your chance to have your say. And depending on how many people are waiting in the background to have their say, depends on how quickly I will move people on. If I do ask you to leave, it's not in a horrible way. It's only because I've got to get other people on. So anyone is welcome. It's up to you. This is the chance where everybody gets an option. So when people say, I'll debate you, I'd debate you, I'd bury you in a debate. Cool. All right. Well, here it is. Or you're a coward, Savva. I hear that all the time. Heard it a few times today. Well, here we are. So there is the link. There is the link. It is in the chat and it is going to be pinned. But have something to say. It's not my job for you to come on and me to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, what is it you want to talk about? We'll talk about it and then we will move on. So the link is there. But before we do that, smash the like button, people. There's 150 of you and growing, only 40 likes at the moment. But this is your chance. Big up first and foremost to Mark Taylor. Good evening, sir. How are we?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm very good. And for the person that's joined that isn't a Spurs fan, listen, I said I will do a bit later, not Spurs. I will do a bit later, not Spurs. Big up. We got a few people waiting in there already. Mark, how are you? And what do you want to talk about, my friends?
I'm very well. Thank you, Savva. Basically, I just wanted to discuss with you and basically, why are we such a reactionary fan base? When we lose, we're rubbish. When we win, we're great. Solanke scores a goal. He's the best striker in the world. When he misses, he's the worst. Yeah. Why are we so reactionary?
Mate, I don't know the exact answer to this, but I mean, most of it is going to be the fact that we're so starved. For me, we're so starved of success. We're so starved of top players. I mean, I'll throw it back at you, Mark. You look at it. 1 week, James Maddison, for example, creates out of nothing, and he's our best player. He's our playmaker. This guy's brilliant. The next minute, he's subbed off James Maddison. He's such a 50-50 player, doesn't really do a lot. And that's kind of where I feel we're at as a fan base. So is that fair? Is it because we're starved of people, of good players to watch?
It's a very hard question, to be honest, because like me and you, we've been around the block a few times. We've we've watched a lot of football in our times, and I don't think we go overboard. So if we win one game, yeah, great, we played well, or we played bad, but we still won. You know, it takes more than just one time watching something to get our opinions, you know, in that direction.
No, I completely agree with you. I think the funny thing is, it's more about the learning curve for me. And big up, it's LB in the chat. How you doing, bro? Hope you're well. Great content creator. Please get over there and follow him. I think it's about the learning curve for me, Mark. We had the good win at Villa against Villa, and everyone lost their minds, and then we were rubbish for ages afterwards. We had the great win against Man City, and everyone, we're going to change, and it's all. And then we didn't win. I think it was something like 7 or 8 league games after. It was something ridiculous. Then we had the ground out draw win at Brentford, where we weren't very good, but we defended brilliantly. And after every one of these games, you get, see, Ange, Spurs are great, Ange is great, this player's great. And realistically, we revert back to type. The manager reverts to type. The players revert to type. And then we have 4 or 5 games where it's calm. And then we have another game like that, and people go, see, manager's brilliant. It's on repeat, isn't it, Mark? It's like we're not learning.
I think it definitely is, mate. I mean, the thing is, though, when we buy somebody like Dominic Solanke, his record suggested that he wasn't going to be very good.
Right.
You know,
right.
it you know, one swallow doesn't make a summer. You know,
of course. I think that's a huge problem as well. Is this isn't Spurs fans. This is all football fans. Let's use Dominic Solanke as the example. If Dominic Solanke, get a bit of light in here. If Dominic Solanke had signed for, I don't know, Crystal Palace, Wolves, no one's batting an eyelid. Not one Spurs fan is going to sit there and go, oh, but I wanted Dominic Solanke for 60 million. But because he signs for Spurs, we're sitting there finding reasons as to why this guy is a 60 million pound striker. And Mark, I don't know about you, but I mean, we've seen some top centre forwards down the years. I've even seen some decent strikers down the years. Now our options are Solanke and Richarlison. It's bloody pathetic, isn't it?
It's awful. I mean, we watched football in the 90s and the 2000s. I'm sorry to say, Solanke wouldn't get in any Premiership side in the 90s. Not as a starting striker, by the way. Yeah. He's very average, and I think that also goes against him is the price we paid for him. For the money, what you could get for 60 million, he isn't it, to be honest.
Mm. No. Look, I think you're right. Listen, I do find it harsh sometimes when we judge players by their transfer fee, but I'm judging the club by that transfer fee, not the player.
No,
I believe that if you've got a good scouting network, if I said to you or anybody in this chat right now, anybody who's waiting to come on, I said, right, here's 60 million. I want you to go out across world football. What's the best you can bring back? The best we could bring back was Dominic Solanke. Truly, truly baffling for me. Truly baffling.
Yeah, I find it strange that instead of spending a little bit more and getting a proper player, we spend 60 million on what? This is it for me. On what? Because at the moment, what I'm seeing is Richarlison looks better up front than our main signing this summer.
Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. Look, Mark, I'd love to talk all day, but I do have 4 or 5 other people waiting. But no, listen, I completely agree with your sentiment. We are very reactionary. And if you notice, those of us that aren't reactionary and actually have had the same opinion for a long time are the people that are hated the most. Have you noticed?
Mate, you've seen the abuse. Even if you just say to somebody, oh, I don't think you're right about somebody. Oh, no, he's the man. He's got to be in charge. Whatever facts you bring somebody, especially the Ange cult, sorry, you absolutely pelted. You know, just debate. That's all you've got to do. Every opinion isn't the right opinion, but there's that many facts and figures to say that Ange isn't the guy, that we're going nowhere. Just open your eyes, people. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, look, I listen. I agree. At the end of the day, as I've always said, those that have the same opinion are always the ones that are lambasted. I haven't moved on my opinion from the manager. I haven't moved on my opinion from Solanke from the summer. I've not moved on my opinion from Romero. I'm not moving on my opinions until something happens that makes me go, wow, yeah, you've shocked me. You've surprised me. And unfortunately, this easy European Cup run hasn't made me change my mind on anything. But hey, Mark, thanks very much. I'm going to get Eugene on next. So thank you very much. Really appreciate you. And I'll see you very, very soon.
See you soon, mate. Bye.
Take care, buddy. Guys and girls, are going to bring Eugene on next. Let's see what he wants to say. I haven't spoken to him for a while. Please smash the like button, people. I mean, that's the least you can do. 64 likes, 245 people and growing. We're now into Solanke conversion rates here, 1 in every 4. Let's try and get that up to Harry Kane. Yeah, more than 1 in 2. Let's get those rates up. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We've just gone past 17,400. Let's try and get that to the 17,500 as quickly as possible. And big up to Anthony Clark, who has put in always for a super sticker. Big up to you, my man. Really appreciate it. Very, very generous indeed, as always. Eugene, my man.
What's up, Savva? Long time.
How you doing, and how's your Ange Postecoglou getting on?
Oh, man. I just came back from London. I had the privilege of being at the game. I promised my son I'll take him, but man, this season, it's the worst season to go. But hey, it was... So I witnessed the brilliance of Spurs firsthand. Yeah, it was shocking. My son.
Which game did you go to? Which game?
Oh, the Forest game.
Oh, you went to the Forest game. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It's
It was.
Is that what you wanted to come on and talk about? It was the Forest game, or
just in general?
Just in general.
It was,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know my stance on Ange changed 4 months ago.
Welcome.
Yeah, it was shocking. First of all, the stadium, it was so quiet. I was in the West End. Nobody even cared about the game. People were just chatting. Nobody was like, the Forest fans were amazing. Our fans, it was dead. Pre-match, I saw Richarlison missing some headers in the warm-ups. So I texted the groups. I wasn't, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a long game. And of course, he missed like 3 sitters. And our tactics, like on TV, it's one thing, but watching it live, we never play through the middle, ever. No through passes. Everything goes to the wingers. And I've seen this before, but watching it live, I was just going mental. Like, I don't understand. No through passes, no attacking through the middle, just everything is wide. And
do you think a lot of that on Monday night, though, was down to the fact that James Maddison didn't play? Because when James Maddison played, the one thing he does try to do is look for that through ball. He does try to find that pass. But there was no playmaker on the. I don't think Kulu's a playmaker for me, but I felt you're right. We were very one-dimensional. And if I said to you, right, if you were Murillo and Milenkovic, and I said to you before the game, what do you want from this game? They'll just say loads of balls in the box. We love it. It's what we live for. We defend that. And yet Spurs decided this is the game where we're going to put in loads of crosses. It's all a bit weird.
Yeah, and yeah, like when you watch it on TV before, I had the same questions. It just seemed like you're right. When Madison is on, at least he tries to play some through balls. But I've seen this before, and now it's just so shocking, so one-dimensional. Just pass it wide, and hopefully a winger does something. And it's the funny thing also, in this one game, I feel like we put in more headers for Charleston than for Solanke the whole season. I don't remember us putting 5 decent crosses for Solanke in the box. And this game, for some reason, we had like 30 crosses. And
do you think that's because Richie's better than Solanke in the air?
I don't know. I mean, I thought Solanke, one of his best attributes was in the air, at least last season.
Do you know
here? I don't know.
Yeah, do you know last year Solanke scored 3 headers in the Premier League, and his Premier League record, he's only ever scored 6 headers. So
that's interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but that's what people are telling me. So it was
that's
interesting.
why I think look, we know what Richie's strengths are. Richie is a pain in the arse. Richie, what he will do is he won't give you. By the way, I don't want Richarlison or Solanke. I always have to caveat that. But Richie, what he will do is he will annoy the life out of the centre half. He'll jostle with him. He'll try and get up and header with him. He's always in the box. And I think that's how you play to his strengths. Solanke, for me, I'm still not sure, Eugene. I still don't know what his strength is because he's not clinical. His hold-up play for me is very hit and miss. His pressing is great, but I can't be signing £60 million players that press. Surely you could get a £10 million player that presses, right? If you scout properly.
I agree. I mean, I still rate Solanke, and honestly, if you look at the prices nowadays with inflation, 60 million doesn't get you as much as it did a few years back. But
Sure.
I agree with you. Like when you and we debated, a while back about whether it's Ange's fault or players, right? You were saying it's Ange, I was saying it's the players. So now I honestly think it's both. Just looking at the players on the pitch, if you say like when I think which players I want to be a part of the future for next 3-4 years, I mean it's handful. Brugge, Kulu, everybody else in Van der Ven, everybody else in my book can go. Like
Do
Romero.
you think though that some of this, do you think some of this though is the players for me don't buy into what he's doing? That for me, they genuinely have switched off. I think they switched off nearly a year ago. I know everyone has a go at me for it, and me and you debated this.
Yeah.
I think the players switched off a year ago. I think that I've got a feeling they've looked and seen, okay, right, second season, what have we trained on in the summer to get better? Oh, nothing. We're going to do the same thing over and over again. I still believe with a better manager, you get the best out of players like Porro, Adogi, I don't know about Papasar, but Bergvall, Madison, Kulu, maybe Solanke. I think there's some good footballers there, but I think overall the management is truly terrible.
I agree with you. I mean, the players switched off for sure. You can see a huge difference, in Europa, the way we play, and in the league. But my thing is the players who can switch or who switch off, it means the mentality isn't there, right? Just as a player, if you switch off and you don't play to your full potential, based on how you feel about the manager, because you're supposed to play for the badge for yourself. If in your DNA you can switch off, I don't think you're the right player for me personally.
No,
And I feel like
I
our
understand that,
team
but
is full of those.
isn't the last thing, because I've got a few people waiting. By the way, that I've got Ryan next, then Ian, then I've got AJ as well. And then if anyone else wants to join after, then the link is in the chat. It is pinned, and I'm putting it in again now. But don't the thing is, let's have a look at that as a kind of baseline. And what I mean by that is, if you had said to Wolves fans 5 months ago, you would have said, oh my God, look how bad all these players are. They're terrible. We don't score goals. We can't defend. Look how good Wolves have been for the last 3 or 4 months, right? Because a manager comes in, gets the best out of them, puts his arm around the players, plays the players in the right position, and now they're winning loads and loads of games of football. So that for me, there's a difference between have the players down tools because they've got bad attitudes, or is it like when Madison and Son were pictured on the side of the pitch saying same thing every game?
Yeah.
That moment for me, Eugene, was telling. That moment for me was really, really telling that it doesn't matter what these players do, the manager is not adapting.
I agree. And again, like I've changed my mind on that. I mean, that's definitely like everybody can see the manager and the tactics are an issue. But in this club, even before Ange, for many, many years, there was this problem where the players were downing tools. It's just, I don't know why, but we don't seem to recruit the right type of players. We need at least 2, 3 players who are the mentality monsters, as they say. And if you look at Madison, Romero, just these players who are supposed to be our leaders on their day, they can be great. but there's no consistency, and mentally they're just not the leaders. And I'm afraid youngsters like Gray and Bergval, they're going to look at those players at Romero, at Madison, and they're not going to learn the right lessons. How to be a professional.
Sure. Listen, I don't disagree, but the thing is for me, this is a manager that has said that he didn't want to bring in leaders, right? He didn't want to buy any leaders. That for me was again, listen, there's so many red flags with this manager I've had for over a year and a half, but that was such a massive red flag when he said there's two ways to get leaders You either buy them or you develop them. And I thought, what are you talking about? We've got no leaders. Go and buy leaders. Like this is not rocket science. Aston Villa, look at the players they're bringing into their club, experienced pros. They're not going and buying 18, 19-year-olds. They're bringing in Pau Torres is a leader, experienced pro. They've gone and bought in. They went and bought Anana, who's a senior pro, Belgium international. They're bringing in Asensio, Marcus Rashford, Donny Marlon. These are not kids. They've gone and bought men. We're buying kids. And then you've got to remember, players like Romero and Maddison must look around and go, what? Like, what are we what are we doing? I've joined Spurs thinking we're going to kick on and we've not. So I think it works both ways. But look, Eugene, I do need to press on. Listen, sorry that your trip to the Spurs stadium wasn't as fun as you might have thought it would be, but I'm sure we'll speak again when I do one of these next week.
All right, the big up, my friend.
Yeah, buddy. See you, mate. Bye-bye. Big up to Ryan, and then I've got Ian, and then I've got AJ. By the way, the link is there. This is that time where people always say, oh, come on, I'll chat. I've got something to say. I'll put you in that mud. Here it is. There's the link. It is in there. Big up to Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, mate. Just quickly, how's Stanley?
He's an annoying little puppy.
A bit like my kitten then. Anyway, enough about that. We've had a quick animal talk. I kind of don't agree with what is being said at the moment about Tottenham. I think the Europa League, right, since we've got out of the group stage, I think the players have been playing for themselves. Honestly, I genuinely think that.
In what way? What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Right, because in the league, we don't seem to be playing anywhere near good football. Okay? This is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. No one in the chat has to agree with me. But I think that the league is Ange's tactics. And then the players say, when it comes to the Europa League, they say, how do I say it without swearing? I'm trying to find a word without swearing here.
You can swear as long as it's not the C word.
No, I was going to say F it, but
okay, that's all right.
They've gone screw it, right? We're just going to play whichever way we know how to, and that's what I think's happened there in the Europa League. They've said screw it, we're going to play our own way because we're not listening to Ange. Because we know if we try and play Ange ball, we're not going to have a chance to win a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's two ways of looking at it. I most of the time you can see that it is I hate this term, I do apologize, Ange ball. Most of the time you can see it because when we look so disorganized, so dysfunctional, that's our normal selves. However, I do think that Ange did plan for what happened at Frankfurt, and I'll tell you why. Because I think he knew that if he lost that game, he was sacked. 100%. If he hadn't have beaten Frankfurt, we're then out of all competitions and 16th in the Premier League, the man is sacked. I think that he's gone into that game knowing I need to do something different, and it worked. I might be wrong. But the worry with that for me, Ryan, is if me giving him credit for that, and I am giving him credit for that, I'm then going to immediately discredit him that the very next game, we look all at sixes and sevens at the back again because we can't defend. So it's almost like he's going, I found a formula that works against Brentford, Villa, and Man City and Frankfurt. But you know what? Nah, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to revert back from this and go to this over here, wide open. And then 15 minutes later, Tottenham Hotspur are 2-0 down to Nottingham Forest, who needed to do nothing after that to win the game.
See, that's why I think it's the players taking it on themselves in the Europa League, Sav. I could, like you, I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong, and you could be right here. It could be Ange changing his tactics, but it's a bit weird that all of a sudden, when we play Europa League games, that we seem to play different.
But do we though? Do we, Ryan? 'Cause other than the Frankfurt game, I've not been impressed for a single European game this year. Like, I in the chat right now, I'll ask you, Ryan, but in the chat right now, can anyone name me a European game they've enjoyed? I don't remember us playing well in Europe. So which games are you referring to?
I'm only referring to the knockout stages. I'm not referring to the group stages because that was Ange ball anyway. We all know that. That's not a debate, in my opinion. That was fully Ange ball, and we just scraped through. But I'm saying I'm more onto the knockout stages where the players have gone, sod it, we're just going to play our own game and hope that we can get something out of the knockout stages and hopefully win the trophy. And that, I would say, is to do it out of spite of Ange, and they're doing it for themselves.
So you think they're taking matters into their own hands? They've had enough of being wide open, and they've gone, we've got to sort this out ourselves.
Personally, I could be wrong though, Sav. I could be.
Listen, who knows? Spurs are a law unto themselves. So who knows? Listen, before I get Ian on, by the way, there's only Ian left after this. So we need to get a few more people in the backstage. This is your chance. Everybody is welcome. Doesn't have to be anyone that agrees with me on anything. Are Spurs winning this Europa League, Ryan?
Do you know what? I think we are, but only because it's the players that are doing what they want to do. Not to do it for Ange. They're doing it in spite of Ange. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we're in a wonderful position. I think it's been a nice run. And I think we are where we should. When people are going, oh, what a great cup runner, I don't feel like any of the teams we've played should have knocked us out. I don't feel like any of the teams we've played, you'd go, oh, God, they're brilliant. I don't think that at all. So I think this is our best chance to win a trophy. I agree with you. For me, this will be nothing to do with a manager. This will all be down to individual players. But I do not want Bilbao in the final. Bilbao, just tough game. Tough game.
Sav, I actually think it's going to be an all-English final. And then the players, yeah, I think it's going to be us against United in the final. And then I've been speaking to Corey, and he thinks the same thing. He thinks it's going to be an all-English final, and he's turning around saying that it's a one-off game and we could win it. And I actually agree with him on that.
Well, listen, let's see. I mean, listen, it'd be very Spursy, wouldn't it, to get Man United in a final, having beaten them 3 times already this season, and then throwing it away on the 4th one. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Listen, Ryan, thanks for coming on, man, and thanks for all your support on the channel. Appreciate you, mate, and I'll catch you soon. All right?
Yeah, cool.
Take care, buddy. See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Gonna bring on Ian. Then I've got Arteta out. Is that you, Angus? Is that? It is Angus. Yeah, I thought so. Why have you got a towel on your head? I've no idea. I think he's got a towel on his head. Anyway, we'll get to it in a minute. Oh, it's a hoodie. It's a hoodie. Oh, Ian,
no idea.
He's got a towel on his head. Anyway.
Hello, Savva. I've got a bit of a delay on this, so I do apologise.
Yeah, I've got to be turned down on whatever thing. How are you, mate? How you doing?
Sorry, Savva, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't think you can hear me, can you?
Okay. I can hear you now. It
Try
seems to
coming
be a
back
bit of a
in.
delay. I do apologise.
Can you hear me now?
Mate, cheers.
Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. All right, we'll try and get him back in a bit. Angus, how you doing? Isn't it funny? We have to get Arsenal fans. Where's the Spurs fans that want to talk about Spurs? Why has everyone suddenly got so shy? Angus, how are we doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. You've got to speak up. I can't hear you at all.
Sorry, mate. I'm a little bit ill. I've got a chest infection, so.
Oh, nice. Nice. What do you want to talk about, mate?
Our set. Do you want to talk about the semi-final?
Mate, this is a fan calling show. You tell me what you want to talk about. We talk about it.
Do you think we can beat PSG with 2 legs?
Yes, you can. I don't know if you will, but you definitely can. They're there to be got at. They're a very they're a very good technical football team. They're very good going forward, but I saw Aston Villa open them up like a can of worms.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Liverpool. So I saw Liverpool open them up. So yes, absolutely. I think you can. I don't want you to, but I think you can. Do you think you will go through?
The only way I can see us beating them is if we go by 2 goals in Paris. We have to win by a lot of goals to have any chance.
In the home leg?
Yeah. 2+ goals at least.
Okay. Do you see Arsenal winning the Champions League? Are you going to win it?
That's a $1 million question, mate.
That's what I'm asking.
Honestly,
Listen. We're in the semi-final stages of tournaments. There's no sitting on fences now. You know the route to the final. Are you winning it?
I'd love to say yes, but I have no idea, mate.
No. We're not, Angus. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Are you winning the Champions League?
No.
You're not winning it. Who's stopping you?
Barcelona.
You think Barcelona?
Yeah.
I think Barcelona will win the Champions League. I think they're the most frightening going forward, but they can be got at the back as well.
Yeah. Did you see the game? Was it a couple of days ago? They got very lucky.
In the 4-3?
Lucky. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
They got very
I saw
lucky.
it. They were 3-1 down, weren't they? 3-1 down to was it Betis? Celta Vigo, maybe?
Celta Vigo, I think it was. How do you think your semi-final is going to go against Bodo?
Listen, I think this is our greatest chance to win a trophy for decades. You've got Bodo Glimt, who have got their 3 best players all suspended for the first leg at Spurs. For me, we should be winning that. And yeah, we should have a big enough lead for me going into Bodo. Bodo are good at home. They're not good away. Spurs have been good at home in Europe, but not good away in Europe. So there's no, Angus, you know me by now. I'm not a fan that does all of this bias stuff. There's no excuses for Spurs to not make that final. Zero excuses.
Honestly, the last 2 times Ange played Bodo, he lost.
Yes, I've seen that.
That is something you need to look out for.
Yeah, look. Of course, listen. I'm not. Bodo are a good team. Whenever I watch them play, they look well drilled. They pass the ball well. They create a lot of opportunities. I'm just, as I said, I feel like the stars are aligning a little bit for Ange because he's been so bad for 2 years. Gets this very favourable cup run. Then in any other cup run, you'd think, well, Lazio will go through. We'll have to play in the Stadio Olimpico. Nope. They go out on penalties. You've got Bodo. So I feel there's zero excuses. I think there's zero excuses. Terry would like to know.
You're going to have a lot of excuses. You know what your fans are like. You're going to have a lot of excuses.
All football fans have excuses. But Terry O'Shea says, Savva, ask him why Saliba keeps throwing up generational stinkers recently. He is trying to copy Romero.
No, shut up, Terry.
That's not an answer, though. Answer him. Come on.
Why is he? I don't know. Maybe because his best mate's not next to him.
But look, I've always been a big supporter of Saliba. I think he's really good. But in the last 4 or 5 games, I have started to see some uncharacteristic mistakes.
He is still young as well, though. So like, he is still young. So like, those mistakes do happen. He's still young as well. He's still developing. But he's still a very, very good centre back.
I agree. I agree. He's a good centre back. I mean, yesterday was poor. It was very poor for the Madrid goal. Are you concerned at all about that?
Yeah, especially going into next week. I'm very concerned.
See, this is the thing. He's picked the wrong time of the season to start having these kind of bozo moments. Don't get me wrong. We've got Romero. We've got our guy who has the bozo moments. But Saliba, I mean, on another day, that bozo moment against Madrid, you're out. So he's got to curb that in, hasn't he?
Yeah. But like I've said, he's good, but without his mate next to him, I don't know. Because he helps him a lot as well without the stupid moments.
But surely, let's look at the one against Real Madrid. That bozo moment surely was nothing to do with who he was playing with. That was an individual error, right? So
yeah, he turns in when he shouldn't have. We should have just passed it to Simba.
Yeah, no. Listen, listen, fair play. Listen, as I said, I like Saliba. I think he's a good centre half. But when you do start putting a few mistakes in, people are going to start doubting you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So Arsenal have got Berta now. Are you expecting a big summer? Is this going to be the summer where you actually act like a team that wants to win the league?
I want to win everything. I want to win everything. And he has to do it. That's why he's in. And if Arteta doesn't win a single trophy next season, he has to go.
But I mean, you've come on here tonight with a hang on, let me just remove this. You've come on it tonight and you've said Arteta out. Now you're willing to give him another year?
It depends what we do in the summer. But last chance. If next season, last chance. He's got one final chance for me.
Okay, so we're willing to give him another year, are you? Willing to give him another year. Yeah. Okay. And last question from me to you. There's a lot of talk about Gyökeres coming to Arsenal. There's a lot of talk about Gyökeres coming to Arsenal. Is this deal going to happen from your point of view? And is this the guy you want to lead your line?
I had two in mind. I had Isak or Gyökeres. If we can get Isak, Gyökeres is the guy.
And you're not getting Isak. Let's be honest. You're not getting Isak.
No. I think, do you know what? I reckon he goes Barcelona. I reckon that's going to be his club next summer. Because they need a replacement for Lewandowski. Isak.
Who? And where are Barcelona getting 150 million from?
With the new, once they build the stadium, once they get the revenue back in, they can afford it, in my opinion, because they're going to get a lot of money back into the stadium.
Yeah, but that money's not there now, right? Like, are you talking about this summer or next summer?
Next summer, because you're going to stay this summer, I think, in Newcastle, but then next summer, I think he'll go.
People in the chat, Isak to Barcelona in just over a year's time. Interesting. I mean, on one hand, you're absolutely spot on. They're going to have to try and replace Lewandowski. And there aren't many Lewandowskis in the world. There's Kane, Lewandowski, Haaland, Lautaro Martinez.
Gyökeres
is, again, still got to keep pushing up there. But yeah, there's not a lot, is there?
91 goals in 2 seasons. He still needs to push.
Who?
Gyökeres, 91
goals. Oh, listen, I think Gyökeres is great. I listen. I think Gyökeres is great. I genuinely am worried about what happens if you lot get Gyökeres. I am. I don't mind admitting that. I'm genuinely worried. When I watch Arsenal play, I think, very good team, but there's no punch.
Yeah.
But I know that's mad considering that you are a few games away from the Champions League. If you were to have someone like Gyökeres, he turns those silly draws you get into wins. So
Yeah.
I'm worried. I do not want you getting Gyökeres from a rival point of view, but I do think you will get him, and that's scary. In the chat again, Gyökeres, Arsenal. Let's see if we can put our bias aside. Is that enough people in the chat to? I'll ask you.
We need more. We need more. We need more.
I'm not saying you won't get more, but that will be the one for me.
Yeah.
You need some more options around the pitch.
Yeah.
You need some more options around the pitch, but up top, that's got to be your difference maker. That's got to be the guy now that comes in, and you need a Haaland, you need an Aguero, you need a Mo Salah, you need someone, right?
We've needed it for a long, long time, and I don't understand why we haven't gone out there and get it.
Yep.
Baffling.
Yeah, well, look, let's see. Let's hope you do. Listen, Angus is a massive. Who's this? Tottenham 1882. Angus is a massive flip-flop. Hey, I've been called worse today. I've been called a drug addict today, so don't you worry about being called a flip-flop. Angus, listen, I'm going to love you and leave you there. Thank you very much, as always. Take care, bro. And
for the semi-final.
Sorry?
Are you live on Big Up for the semi-final next week?
Yeah. What day is it?
Tuesday, I think it is.
Possibly. I'm flying back from Portugal Tuesday, so I can't. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't land in the UK till about 6 p.m. I don't think I'm going to make it. Don't think I'm going to make it.
I'll probably speak to you on the Wednesday anyway. I'll probably see you on the Wednesday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate. You take care.
You too, man.
See you later. Bye-bye. Right, guys and girls, I have got young Caesar to come on next. We'll have a little chat with Caesar. Guys and girls, where is everybody? Where's the queue of people? Come on. We used to get loads of people jumping onto these. Where are you? Let's be having you. I get so many people. It makes me laugh. I get so many people who comment in my YouTube channel and on my YouTube shows. I'll talk to you after, and then when it's live, there's just no one to be seen. Young Caesar, hello, sir.
Yeah.
How are you?
Long time no see.
Long time no see. How are you?
Good. In Belgium, we have now playoffs.
Who? Club Brugge?
Yes, now it's the Champions playoffs.
What? In the league season for Club Brugge?
Regular season, and we have then playoffs.
Okay. So who are you playing in the playoffs?
Today, we are unbeaten, and we are now for the first time this season top of league.
You're okay. So how does it work? So you have the league season and then playoffs? How does that work?
Yeah. So we're gonna begin with the top 6. That's Genk, As, Union, Antwerp, Ghent, and on the left, and Antwerp.
Okay. So what do you need to do in order to win the league? How many games more do you need to win?
10 games.
10. 10?
Yes, and now we're on the 5th game day of the playoffs.
Okay, so tonight you play Union Saint Galois, is that right? You play these guys? Okay.
Yes.
And you're currently top. So it's these 6 teams will play each other twice. Is that right?
This weekend, the teams are taking on twice.
Okay. So are you going to win the league then?
I think so, but Hank dropped point yesterday.
Who dropped a point yesterday?
Genk.
Oh, Genk.
1-1 against Antwerp.
I tell you, there's something I wanted to speak to you about, Caesar, was I've been very impressed by a player from Bruges that I've been watching, and I wanted you to tell me about him. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's this guy. It's Chemsding
Baller.
Did you say baller?
Yes.
He looks like a very good winger to me, Caesar. What do you like about him?
Yes, he's from our youth academy.
Okay.
I watched him for 3 seasons. He is good.
Yep. He seems like he's very skillful. Is that correct?
Yes. He scored twice against Atalanta. Have you watched that game?
Yes. Yeah, I watched him. Yep.
Was you shocked?
Sorry?
Was you shocked we won against Atalanta?
I was, to be honest, I was shocked because they were in very good form when you played them, and then I thought you played brilliantly to beat them. Were you shocked?
Yes, I was in my room with the life of Alf.
So let me ask you: are you going to be able to keep hold of a player like Taibbi?
I don't know.
Will you end up selling him to another club?
I don't know. We have that love here with Igor Thiago of Brentford.
Yes.
He's still injured, or is he still?
Yes, he's missed the whole season, hasn't he? He's missed the whole season with injury.
Yes. Well, because of injury in our last season against Union.
Yes. Yeah. So let me ask you one last question. I'm going to ask you. As you know, Spurs have a player. Spurs have a player in Belgium called Vuskovic.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Vuskovic?
Yes. So he got in the first game of the year at Westlow a red card.
Sorry, say that again. Oh, Caesar, have you been in trouble? You're not meant to be on.
It was my mom.
Okay. Hello, mum. Okay, so is he good? Sorry, is Vuskovic good?
Yes, he scored this week an own goal.
He scored an own goal.
Yes, against Mechelen playoff 2.
Is he going to be good enough to play for Tottenham?
Nah, but what the hell has happened to Tottenham?
You're asking me. I don't know. We're not very good, are we?
Yes, but me and Alf, we are saying glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur.
So don't we all sing that? Listen, Caesar, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining.
And now we take the 3 points today.
And good luck to Bruges.
Hey, ex-player of Brighton, do you remember Josh Izquierdo?
Who? Sorry?
Izquierdo of ex-Brighton.
Yes, I do. Yes. Does he play for you now?
No. He's ex-player of Bruges.
Oh, okay. Understood. So listen, Caesar, I've got a few people waiting. So good luck tonight for your game against Union Saint-Gilloise, I think it is. And I hope you win the league this season for your sake.
And when is the next call-in show?
Maybe this time next week. I'm away in Portugal for a few days. So maybe this time next week. Okay, you take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, Caesar and his Club Bruges team. We've got Daniela coming up next. And then, Rico's back. Oh, no, not this again. I'll entertain it, even though he never puts his camera on. I can't wait for him to tell me how wrong I was about Ange Postecoglou. I cannot wait for this. He told me how wrong I was about Levy and Postecoglou. Let's see what he's got to say in a minute. Big up, Daniela. How you doing?
How you doing, Sav? We're looking forward to our chat, but that can happen another day. And don't worry about the idiot down under. I've stopped listening to him, and we can speak more about it. And I've had a few being a trans person, I've had a few sort of like hate people in the past. So I can give you a hand, support dealing with all that crap. But
yeah, we won't talk about him. He ruins enough people's days.
Well, we'll talk about the old adage: you're in a competition, of course you can win it, but whether will you win it? This notion that the players decided to play differently, I'm going to squash that, because if you go back to the West Ham game we played at the old ground, he played like that then. He changed his way. He played defensively. If you actually look at that game, we were the ones playing Ange ball, and you were the ones playing Moyes ball, and you're the ones that caught us out on it, and you caught us on the counter-attack. So he can do it if he wants to. I agree with you. I think he's got a massive ego. He thought he'd come down, he win this old stuff up in Celtic. Brendan Rodgers is doing it again. Like Brendan Rodgers can't win anywhere else, but he's doing it twice again in Celtic up in Scotland. So I think he can. I think he can if he wants to change it. And if it was the players, I think his ego, he would have dropped them. There would have been players dropped in the last game, left, right, and centre, and he would have made sure that you don't do that.
Do you know what? You probably heard me say to the other caller. I agree. I do think he can change things. The problem I've had all the time, Daniela, this is my problem with him. It feels like it's a vanity project.
Yeah, I agree with
that. It feels like this is not about what's best for Tottenham, but he wants to show the world my way works.
Yeah,
but more often than not, it doesn't. So I agree with you. I don't think the players took it upon themselves.
I think he did.
I think he changed it because his job was on the line.
He changed it, and I was listening to your chat, and I was listening to the radio at the same time. I thought it was a dull game, both sides. But I was totally disappointed with Frankfurt because they played us and they knocked us out.
Yeah,
but we outplayed them at the London Stadium, but we made a mistake at their ground. And I think we lost there, but we outplayed them. We should have won, and we had a goal disallowed or something like that. Didn't have a goal and that, and we were actually the better team in the second game. But yeah, at the end of the day, cup games like this is all about taking your chances and take your chances. Can you win it? Yeah, will you win it? Who knows?
Do you know? I make you right, Daniel. I make you right. The game in Frankfurt, I think what's happened is so many Spurs fans are going, "Oh my God, we were brilliant." I think what they actually mean is, for once, we actually had a proper back four and looked like a team. Now, most clubs, that's normal. But because we did it for one game, so that's not one, is it? Because we did it for one game, suddenly, oh my God, see how good we were against Frankfurt. Yeah. I thought we were actually, I thought we defended well, but the last 15 minutes, which you would expect from a home team, the chances they had.
They
had some chances, didn't they?
It was
some
squeaky
really
bum time, wasn't it? It was squeaky bum time at the end. It was definitely squeaky bum time, and they were running out, and it was squeaky time. But as you say, like you got to like the Liverpool game. Oh, that's going to be funny because they only need 1 point. You go down and get spanked. You go, that can be a sort of downer. You got us. We're as fickle as you at the moment. We're much better away from home at the moment. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen when you come to us? And it all depends on who you put out, who we put out, what frame of mind we're in, and what frame of mind our players are in. We're just as Jekyll as Hyde as anyone else. And I think it's been talking to a Man U fan of mine. I think this whole season has been poor for everyone. We've all been poor. Every team out there. There's no team. Even Liverpool ain't been that great. They benefited from a lot of teams being very, very poor. But Liverpool and Forest have been less poor. Liverpool, Forest, and Arsenal have been less poor than the rest of us. It's been a very poor season.
I think the whole thing has been really, really poor. I feel like even the only thing left to play for, right, is that top 5 race.
I think it's
even then, none of them can seem to pull away. None of them can seem to go, right, we're going to... It just feels a bit bitty this season. It feels very bitty. It feels like it's gone on for a bloody long time.
I think a lot of players are tired. I know we spoke before when I spoke before, and I mentioned the 4 international competitions. I think there's a lot of mental tiredness in football at the moment, and I don't think that's being addressed. Everyone, I think there's a lot of players having got mental tiredness, and I think the fatigue. There's no life, there's no energy. The interviews are dull. There's no spark. There's no spark. The games are boring. There's no spark between clashes.
Great.
I even think journalists ain't got the spark either. The reporting. There's no build up. There's nothing. It's just.
But don't you think there's too much of all of this? I think there's too many games of football. Yeah. There's too many journalists. There's too many outlets. Even people like me. There's too many YouTubers. There's too much football content.
Yeah.
But you're right. The key thing you said there, which I'm so fully on board, there's no spark in the games. There's no. I've said this so many times. Where's your Di Canios, your Payet, your Ginolas, your Perez, your Zolas, your Acochas? Where have they gone?
They've gone. I've been watching match on TV. You can, and on YouTube, you get replays of the big match and match a day. I watched the full West Ham Brentford game. It was the 5-4 when Di Canio went bonkers, the penalty, all like that, and he went mad. He wanted to come off, and then I watched a game with you guys with Hoddle and I think I mentioned it on a chat here where Ray Clements was in goal and he caught everything, and you had players like Hoddle and Waddle, and Crooks and players like that, and
do you know what's annoying? Do you know what's really annoying, Daniel? Is, I do some of these panel shows with other YouTubers, and depending on the age, if I say, "Oh God, these players compared to them, it's nostalgic." No, they were just better footballers. Like every week, I was so excited to watch football. The last 10 years, I kind of feel like it's just been not a drag. There's been some good games, but. Where's you remember the classic Newcastle-Liverpool games with the likes of Collymore and Fowler, right? Watching those weekly in the Premier League going, now everything is, right, that's your 20-yard box. You don't move out of there. You're not allowed to move in there. Cutting 5-yard pass. Oh, it's just draining.
I'm slightly older. I'm 60 this summer. And I was in 70s. I remember... We had Brooking, Devonshire.
Oh,
Brooking.
Trevor Brooking was a player, wasn't he?
Yeah. You had I remember watching West Ham, you had Martin Chiv. I remember Martin Chivers walking down the byline so he didn't get offside and just walked on the pitch. You had Steve Perman, who was our captain. I wanted Steve Perman. My brother was a Spurs fan, and you had players like Steve Perman. Pat Jennings before he went, players like that. It was Alan Brazil, players like that who you keep forgetting these players. And that.
It's different now. It's all very very robotic now, isn't it? Like what makes me laugh is you have these robotic players, and every player is now judged by, well, he didn't have a good game today. Well, if you actually look, he actually covered 96.2 kilometers, not 9 ball recoveries. When you're like, God,
it's ridiculous. It's you said that, and my friend West Ham channel man still us. He said it. It's the eye test. Watch how the game played. What the player does. Was he I say you got all these great. Everyone goes Benjamin, Joe, great player. I watched the game and said, but he's not been in the game. He's done one thing. Score a goal, and he gets man of the match, but. He hasn't been in the game. He hasn't done anything. I haven't seen him. You said it with your players like Brendan Johnson. Has he been on the pitch? We've had players like that. Did he do anything? Did he touch the ball?
I completely agree.
And I hate these stats things. I hate all these stats things. This possession, 9/10 of the law. Possession. Yeah, I remember a game Wolves came to us and they had more possession. It was at home, but we still beat them 2-0. And I said, yeah, but most of the possession was passing between the back four.
Do you know what? This is the key thing. I see things now people go, oh, did you see so-and-so's pass ratio today was 96% success rate? And I'm like, yeah, but did you see that Like of all his passes, they were all 5 yards to the centre half or sideways, centre half side. Like that doesn't excite me. When I watched, I always use JJ Okocha as an example, just purely because he wasn't at one of the big clubs. When I watched JJ Okocha, when I watched these players, not one part of me cared about pass completion rate. Not one part of me cared about ball recoveries. Not one part of me cared, did he run around like a headless chicken? It was, did you see what he just did? Did you see that? It was brilliant, wasn't it? And now we're
cameo, like the goal against Wimbledon, the chipping, was it the Arsenal defender, Keno, and chipping him. Chipping him and stuff like that. And he was his passion for the game and his love for the game and his love for the club. And you just don't get that. It's all sort of calculated and I don't know, it's all big money and stuff like that. And we said, everyone goes on. We got a kudos, but he's been very poor this year. It was great the first time, but consistency issues. And a friend of mine again said to me, "Great player, but he's got consistency issues."
Yeah,
and we all big these
players up, don't they?
Yeah, I think
most players nowadays have consistency issues. Like, I don't know who is. How many players are consistently good? How many players you go?
Very few.
Turns up week in, week out.
Very few, and I think that's a problem. We all it's very few. So all I'm going to say is, I'm sorry, it's a West Ham fan. I said, I didn't mind Tottenham as a kid. It was certain. He was a scholar that turned me off Tottenham when I don't know if you remember this. You was probably too early. Back in the 80s, the first mention of Premier League, and then your chairman came out and said there should be a 12-team league, no promotion or relegation. We should be in it because we're a big club, but Tottenham are laying 16th behind QPR and Oldham in the league. And I thought, how can you do that? That's arrogance. That's really arrogance. But I've sort of chilled out a bit, getting older, and the banter on the pitch, the banter on the game. But other than that, you leave the banter on the pitch and banter on the game, and then elsewhere you forget about it. And
if only YouTube was like that. Listen, I'm going to ask you one question, and then I will need to get Ian on because he's been waiting very patiently. We've had a question here for you. So Ryan G has said, Daniela, what are West Ham's thoughts on Max Hillman?
We like him. He's got errors in him. Some say he plays better on the left of a free, and that we got consistency. But yeah, I like him. I think he could be a captain coming up. We love Bowen, but I'm not sure. I think we got the same thing with Bowen. With Son, I don't think he's captain material. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's captain material. And I think we're leaders. But I like Kilman. I like Kilman. He showed. But when you've got a team like our teams that are imbalanced, are fragile, there's a consistency issue, players will make mistakes.
Absolutely. I've never known an era. I've never known an era like it. And this is the problem. Just last thing before I get Ian on. Yeah. For me, we talk so much about centre-halves. Centre-halves now are talked about, but can they pass? Can they bring it out? That we're forgetting that defenders' jobs used to be defend. Sorry, I'm not saying we're forgetting. Their jobs should be defend. Yeah. Defend. Not defend. Like when I talk about Romero, people go, yeah, but look, no one can pass like Romero. Sure. But first and foremost, we're not signing Romero for his passing ability. He's a centre-back.
Well, it's a Trent argument, isn't it? It's a Trent argument. Is he a midfielder, centre forward, player, or is he a white fullback? No, he's a defender. He's a ball. Is that Lubo, Ian?
Yeah.
I've got a challenge here because he does annoy me with this thing. I'm going to say this, Lubo. West Ham Spurs game. Why ain't you turning up for that? Because we should turn up for each other. It's not our cup final. I hate that term. Oh, it's West Ham. You're a London derby. Why we want to beat you? You want to beat us? It's bragging rights. We turn up for Man United.
I don't think we're a big enough club to be looking at any other club and saying, "Oh, it's their cup final." Listen. I want a manager that gets us like, guys. This is a London derby, right? Go out there and batter them, but it doesn't happen. And just quickly before I let you go, Olmo has said, "Lamine Yamal, nothing." Olmo. I'm not saying every player in the world, but Yamal is very much a one-off generational talent. Anyone who knows me, I don't use the word generational. This guy, I make an exception because he is ridiculous. He is, look what he's achieved. He's not even 18 yet. This guy is special.
And players like that only go to about 4 or 5 clubs in football. It's the 2 Real Madrids. And if you come into if you come into England, it's either Manchester or Liverpool you go into. You ain't going anywhere else. You either going to Manchester or you going to Liverpool. You're not going anywhere else because. Also, there's another. I think there's a discussion. I think you can have with the London panel in the summer. The question. I'll ask you to set up a date. Get some West Ham before it goes on there. Is the London derby issue a big problem for London teams winning stuff? I don't want to answer now. I think it's something we all need to think about, but I think it'll be a nice discussion on your YouTube with a lot of other YouTubers from other clubs. Is the London derby problem getting, because in London clubs are having problem winning trophies at the moment, and is that a real issue now?
Yeah, look, it's definitely a conversation we can have another time. I must get Ian on.
Well done, Ian. I would say if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But I agree. I think Ange has to go. I don't know who you get, but West Ham fans were saying, "Do we want Ange?" I said, "No, don't want Ange at my club."
I don't know why anyone would. By the way, it's not that Ian in the background at the moment. It's a different Ian. But
okay,
listen, big up to you.
You have a lovely time. Stay safe. Sorry you get all the hate. It's uncalled for.
It's all right.
It's uncalled for. And even though I'm a West Ham fan, we should all treat, like I said before, we're football fans at the end of the day, and we all should respect that. And at the end of the day, clubs we will win games. One more question I was going to ask that was, fans are getting too fickle and forgetting that it's a sport, and we will all win games and we will all lose games, and we will lose games to weaker sides and we will beat stronger sides. That's the nature of the competition. For sure. No, I completely agree with you. Listen, thanks so much for coming on, and I'll see you very soon. All right. See you later. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye. You too. Big up to Ian. After Ian, at the moment, I've got nobody waiting. So if anybody does want to come on before we round up the show, they're going to have to. There's the link. Porro Bozo says, Savva is so delusional if he thinks Arsenal have a better side than the sides. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've no idea what I said about Arsenal, but clearly somebody that doesn't listen. Ian, how's your connection now, mate?
Poor, but I'll do the best I can as quickly as I can. Good to see you, Savva. I want to dispel this idea that we should sign Tell for 50 million. Okay, I can't do it. I can't do it. I would rather have Werner here for another season not playing than spend 50 million for Tell. I mean, come on, guys. Is this the level? Really, is this the level? What has he done? He's done nothing. And, I mean, I think Bayern got him from Rennes for, what, 28 million euros? If I'm not too mistaken.
Oh, good. Let me have a look. Good question. Matisse Tell.
I think it was about 28 million. So if they're going to... Is that right? I think if I remember correctly.
Rennes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 28.5 million euros. 28.5 million euros. Oh, your reception's going again, Ian. Oh, we've lost him. We've lost him again. We've lost him again. We'll see if we can get him back at some point. Look, where are we? Oh my Jesus, you're really going to town with this. I mean, football games are robotic. A lot of sideways passing, wingers that invert, no real skillful mavericks anymore. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know why you're really hammering this point home. Look, from what Ian was saying there, for me, I think he's absolutely spot on. Tell, for me, should play and learn his trade somewhere for a few years. We should not be talking about £50 million price tags on kids that have done nothing in football yet. If Spurs fans want another kid that's done nothing to come in, we can't then complain at the owners for not being ambitious enough. We've got to make our minds up. Hey, that's just me. Gus, I agree. Kids got to understand Savva, sadly. Yeah, I agree, mate. They've not seen that. That's all right, man. That's all right, Ian. Yeah, listen, they've not seen these. They've not seen these players that we have. Gus, they've not seen the players we've seen. It's all very, very rigid now. Football used to be fun, entertaining. Now it's very, very rigid. Listen, I've got Frankie inside the house. How you doing, Frankie?
Yeah, very good, mate. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Is this your first time on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first time on, mate. I'm a big fan of the channel. I've been watching for a very long time. So, yeah, I'm glad to get on.
Stop it. I'll have to clip that and put it out to show that there is some love in the world. What do you want to talk about, bro? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so first and foremost, obviously, thanks for having me on. Like I say, big fan and whatnot, big Tottenham fan. I've sort of been watching since last summer, so sort of I like the transfer stuff, and then this season's been the don't know if I can swear or not, but you know, it's been what the season's been.
You can swear, just not the C word. You can swear, but not the C word.
No worries, and the season's been a bit of a shithole for being honest, but it's not too bad. Given the Europa League, I'm on the same page as you with Ange, and it took me too long, I think, to become Ange out, as it did with many fans. But my question today is, so basically, I got some grief at school. I was saying, for me, we're still a Big Six club. I just want to see what your view is on that, essentially.
Are Spurs a Big Six club is the question you're asking me. Yeah, listen, I mean, I think that when we talk about the Big Six, it's kind of gone from no one cared about anyone unless they won the league to the Big Four. Then it's gone Big Six. I feel like it's kind of a way for clubs to get themselves more relevant than they are most of the time. So Spurs are one of the Big Six clubs in the country for a couple of metrics, right? We are in terms of number of trophies won over the history of football, of English football. We are in terms of revenue, profits, all these kind of things we are. But I feel a bit embarrassed saying things like that, Frankie, because we're a club that hasn't won a trophy for 17 years. And I kind of feel like the word big, like, oh, we're a big club. The other big five have won loads.
You're right. Yeah,
they've won loads. So were you arguing for Spurs being a Big Six club? Do you think we're still a Big Six club?
Yeah, but I mean, I use some of the arguments you sort of said about in terms of like, you know, revenue and things like that. But yeah, you're not wrong about trophies. I mean, in my lifetime, I've literally never seen us win a trophy other than when I was about 2 years old. So, you know, it's not like I can exactly go say, oh, we've done this, done that every time I sort of go to Champions League finalists and whatnot. So, but yeah, no, I do think in terms of the size of the club and the pool, I still think we can compete with the likes of Newcastle and Villa, other than maybe financially. But it's difficult because obviously you're sat in 17th on the table, so it's hard to argue at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the thing is with football, it's always very right nowism. So, for example, you know, Wolfie, who do some streams from Not Advice. When you have a chat with Wolfie right now, it's very hard work because Wolfie is living in this crest of a wave of Nottingham Forest having a great season.
No, I've seen it, mate. Yeah.
For the last 20 years, Nottingham Forest have been completely irrelevant for any conversation. Now they're having one good year. Suddenly he's going, yeah, what have Spurs won? What have they done? It's like, hang on, mate. We've made Champions League about 7 times. We've been top 4, top 6, like 17 times out of 20. So it's always the here and now. But for me, I don't really care about you know, I don't really care about Big Six, Big Four revenue. For me, I just want my team to actually be. I don't want to be like Nuno and say I want to be proud. I want to look forward to watching Tottenham play again. And at the moment,
we all do, yeah, of course.
like, do you look forward to watching us play? Are you excited for the games at the moment?
No, of course not, mate. I mean, I don't think there's many Spurs fans at the moment who sort of look forward to watching the games. Obviously, Europa League you can get up for, and I always back the team, but I mean, it is a dreadful watch at the moment. That Forest game, it was like the inevitable. You concede them 3 goals, 1 disallowed within the first 20 minutes. You're not even questioning it because we're so used to it under these tactics. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I think that's a really good way of looking at it. You know, we have become accustomed to. Unfortunately, what's happened with this manager in the last 2 years is we've become very much accustomed to losing. We've normalized playing badly, and we've got a portion of the fan base that just make constant excuses for how shit we are. And unfortunately, and there's one in the chat, so I cannot wait till I get to him. So Ben is waiting backstage. We've got 2 people before him. Ben, I'm going to call you out, is the person that told me 4 or 5 months ago that we need to hit the bottom of the V before we come out of it. I'm waiting to see what the bottom of the V is, because at the moment it's like a never-ending V. But Frankie, that's the problem. We've normalized what we're seeing. Years gone by, people wouldn't have put with this. They would have been booing at the stadium. People would have been singing for Ange out. We're 5-1 down at home to Liverpool. People were singing his name. Like,
It's mental.
Unfortunately, standards are gone. Standards
to me,
are gone.
It feels like almost like a social experiment. Like, I look at Wolves when they were 17th. Wolves sat their manager. So how can a big club like us be 17th? And it's not even like all the fans want him out. So, yeah, no, genuinely, I struggle to comprehend it sometimes, but it's a shame at the moment.
No, it is. But I'd love to sit here and say to you, is that what? So what are you, 19, 17?
Yeah, just
19?
about. Yeah.
19. I'd love to sit here and say it gets better. It might. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Unfortunately for you, you've had the Daniel Levy era for your whole life. So hopefully you don't have it. But listen, thanks for coming on, Frankie. Really appreciate your call. And next time I do one of these, you're obviously more than welcome to come on.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. I'll be looking probably in the summer to get on a bit more, maybe start my own channel. But yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Absolutely, man. Any help you need, just shout, all right?
Perfect. Cheers.
Take care, bro. See you later. Just so people know, so I've got Nathan, followed by Dan, followed by Ben. We'll end it on Ben because I've got no doubt Ben's about to come on and absolutely grovel and tell me how wrong he has been about this awful manager. So for any of you that want box office, Ben is back. We've missed him. Let's bring on Nathan. Nathan, how are you doing, sir? Are you well?
I'm good, thanks, Savva. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I got told this morning I was a drug addict. Other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm just in recovery. So don't worry. I'm all right. All right?
If it's okay with yourself, apologies if you're going to repeat yourself a bit, but I would like your thoughts on Pedro Porro. I think I don't rate him as highly as some of the Tottenham fan base. I was reading reports over the last couple of days by like Matt Law and stuff saying they're looking to offload him this summer. Is there a bid that would make you think, I'll have that for him? And would you be okay with Spence taking his place, or does it depend on whatever manager will be coming in to see what we can get out of the both of them?
Do you know what? The Pedro Porro conversation for me is very interesting. I think Pedro Porro is... I think Pedro Porro is a very good footballer. I don't think he's a great defender. Now, when we bought Pedro Porro in, I think he was bought in by Paratici for Antonio Conte, who plays wing backs. And I think the vision was Udogie on the left, Pedro Porro on the right. And I think that Pedro Porro would be fantastic in that formation. I do. I think he's got everything needed. He's got power, pace. He's got brilliant cross, good technique. I think he'd be absolutely brilliant. If we're going to have another manager that just plays a back four, I guess the question is, if a bid came in for 50, 60 million for Porro, yeah, I'm quite happy if Spence was my right back and you were going to reinvest it. If a manager comes in that plays wing backs, then I want Pedro Porro. So I don't know if that's a cop-out, but I really think it depends on who the manager is and what system they adopt. Is that fair?
No, I think that's a very fair answer. I was a bit of a cop-out myself. I asked ChatGPT like what managers would come into Tottenham that would suit the team, and Marco Silva came up saying one of the beneficiaries of the system would be Bissouma, Porro. In a more balanced system, they could negate Porro's weaknesses and still, you see like Kenny Tete and Anthony Robinson playing well at Fulham. So maybe a Marco Silva could get the best out of them, but negate their defensive frailties. Yeah.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, I think it's all about when you look at players, we look at their strengths, their weaknesses, and a manager's job is how do you get the best out of not only the individual, but how do you assemble them as a team to get the best out of them? Unfortunately, what we've got one way of playing which doesn't really suit the personnel that we've got, and we don't ever seem to counteract our opponents. Now, the few times we have, i.e. Man City, i.e. Brentford, i.e. Frankfurt, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, and you've learned that if you change, we can look like a team. And then the very next games, it's, oh no, we're back to this crazy inverted gung-ho, let's not worry about any defenders. So I'm baffled by our tactics. I'm baffled that we don't get the best out of players. And I want a manager that does. And listen, I at the beginning of this season, I would never have said Marco Silva, but Ange makes Marco Silva look like Alex Ferguson. Like, you know what I mean? He just makes these managers look brilliant. So who would you want other than, I mean, ChatGTP said Silva. Who would you want if you could take anyone within being realistic?
Yeah, within a realistic chance, as a few channels have said recently, every time we swap managers, the pool seems to get smaller and smaller managers, and the quality seems to go down to less proven managers. At this point, if it wasn't Silva, I would go for, I think, Glasner. I commented on this on a stream of yours a week or two ago, that Glasner would have Bundesliga pulling power in transfers, having previously won the Europa with Frankfurt. And hey, if we can get a manager in, he's done a good job at Crystal Palace. Obviously, he ended last season very well. This season, they sold two very important players before the start of the season, but he's managing to turn that team around. And hey, if we could poach a Munoz or a couple of other talented players from Palace, then I'd be all for that as well.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I think, and after this, I will have to let you go because I'm going to get Dan on then Ben, and then that will be me for the night. Listen, what I admire about people like Glasner is Glasner's someone that gets on with it. There's no nonsense. There's no noise. There's no horrible interviews. There's no sketchiness, if that makes sense. He gets on with it. He loses good players in transfer windows and gets on with it. You think in the summer he lost Anderson and Elise, gets on with it. This transfer window, he lost Chalobah back to Chelsea, who was actually on a year-long loan. Chelsea recalled him. No worries, we'll just get Chris Richards in there. They all know his system. They all play. They all play for him. Yeah, they've had a couple of really bad results, but you would expect a club like Palace to have some results like that. But again, like you mentioned him, a player there. Look, I mean, where have they plucked Munoz from? Looks brilliant. Does a really good job, right? Lacroix at centre half was, I think, about 15 million euros or something. Like, it was just they do really well. They're above us in the league. And he's a winner. I take Glasner all day, every day. All day, every day. But listen, Nathan, I'm going to thank you for coming on. I've got a few people waiting. By the way, there's people waiting in the background. If you don't have your cameras on, I've got zero interest in speaking to you. All right? I'm not doing the trolling thing. I'm far too old for that. Nathan, enjoy your evening. Enjoy Liverpool away. And I'll speak to you again soon, all right?
Thank you, buddy. Have a good night. Cheers.
Take care. See you later, mate. Bye-bye. Everybody, we have got Dan, then Ben, and then there's 3 people that have come in. I've got a feeling some of them are absolutely trolling me, so you might not be getting to see them. Big up to Dan. How you doing? You well?
Hello, Savva. Thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
All good, man. All good. Thank you very much. How you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Apart from being a Spurs fan, as most people are talking about each day, aren't we?
It's it's one of the worst things about being a Spurs fan, especially as a YouTuber, is we have to talk about a lot of bad stuff rather than a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and that was my point, mate. My first game was 1983, so I've seen some bad times, and in the mid 90s when we had Gary Doherty and Stuart Nethercott on the pitch, but I don't think I've been this sad in a long time. Watching my team and going every week, watching them, and being
Do you go every week? Do you?
Disillusioned with what we see every week. So
have you got a season ticket? Do you go to every game? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you
Stand,
then, as a season ticket holder, look, we've not properly met before. I've seen you in the comments, but you know my feelings on Tottenham and on Ange and on everything. What is it that you don't like? And you said, this isn't the Tottenham, what is it that you don't like at the moment? What's going on? Why is it so bad at the club right now?
Mate, there's so many things you could talk about in there. There's the chairman. I know we listen to Lubo a lot about Levy and the chairman and what he does and what he don't do for us.
If you say Daniel Levy's name 3 times, Lubo appears, just so you know. So you've got to be careful.
Mate, 6 years ago we had the biggest chance, or even 7 years ago when we had Poch, we had the biggest chance to really do something, and he sat on his hands and let it slide, and let it move into a position where we are now, where we've just regressed every single year. We had the chance to kick on. We were better than Liverpool. We were better than Arsenal. We were better than everyone, apart from obviously we don't win the league. But if you look over 2.5 years, we were the best team in the country by miles, and best team to watch and all. But he's just regressed. Then we get this bloke in, and I was done after the Chelsea game like you were. I was Levy out when he didn't back Redknapp. When we had that time when he bought Nelson and Sarr, that was me done. I've had many discussions with my brother and my lad and my dad about Levy, and I've always been Levy out. I don't want him here anymore. But he ain't going to go anywhere, is he? He's only going to go when he wants to go.
Yeah, listen, this is one of the things as a Levy out person. It's difficult because I'm in WhatsApp groups with people that, if you think I'm Levy out, they are like Stel. Look, if it's Stel, Lubo, these guys, that we have different views on it. I don't want him here. I just believe that they've built such a behemoth of a corporate enterprise that us saying please leave, I just can't see it.
I'm with them guys. I'm massive. I've been to the protests. I'm with them, but I feel like I'm doing my part because I can't stand on the terraces and shout Levy out if I don't turn up and do my little bit. I'm fully aware that he ain't going to go unless he wants to and he gets whatever he needs to. But then he brings this bloke in. We sacked Conte, we sacked Mourinho, and he brings this bloke in, and we've lost 18 games with 5 games left in the season. I ain't seen anything like it for a long time, mate.
Mate, but the thing is, you're not allowed to say it. There are so many that don't like this fact. Listen, 18 defeats. We're not even sitting here saying that's what we lost in the entire season. We're saying 18 defeats so far. Like there's 5 league games to go. We've got Villa away and Liverpool away. I'm expecting absolutely nothing from either of those 2 games.
West Ham away. We don't win there often.
No, it's embarrassing, and we've got lots of fans that are just still sitting there going, "Oh, Savva, you're a shit fan. Get behind the team." Now, I can't get. It's not the team I don't want to get behind. I can't get behind this manager.
Yeah,
I don't resonate with him. Do you know what I always say? Right? It's not my club. It's not your club. It's not any of the people. It's not their. It's all of our club. Right?
Yeah.
It's all of our club. We were here before Ange. We will be here after. If he wins us the Europa League, thank you. Cheers. You're in the history books. See you later. Now let's get a proper manager for Champions League football. But The last question I'll ask you, Dan, because I've got a few people waiting. Can you
That's right, mate.
imagine going into Champions League football with these tactics under Ange Postecoglou?
We will get our backsides handed to us every week. Every
Mad,
single
innit?
week. We struggled again. We struggled against Alkmaar. So what are we going to do if we turn up against a Barcelona or a Real Madrid? Could you imagine if he plays Porro and the doggy high and you got Yamal and Rafinha in behind? We got no chance, mate. Absolutely no chance.
Oh, can you imagine?
Absolutely no chance. He has to go no matter what. I know you don't. I know you got other people in.
Does the scoreboard go past double figures, double digits? Does it go up?
It could do, couldn't it?
A
It'll
massacre.
It could
But
do.
look, Dan, lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your. I see you in the
Cheers.
chat,
Thanks for your
so
time.
I do try and remember every name. It is difficult to do, but thank you very much. Really appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Take care, mate. See you later.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye. I'm not clapping myself, by the way. I just saw something that just annoyed me. I don't know what it was. Anyway, big up. I'm going to bring on Ben. Ben. We've not talked for months, Ben.
Okay.
And I've thought about you every day.
Oh, have you?
Because every time I watch this diabolical shit Spurs team play, all that is in my mind is listening to you saying, Savva, don't worry. We've just got to hit the bottom of that V, and then Ange will come out of it and we'll be brilliant. How you doing, mate? And how's the V going?
Okay, so first of all, can you hear me?
I can, yes, loud and clear.
Okay, first and foremost, how are you today?
How am I? I'm good, mate. I'm very well. How are you?
Okay, good. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm very well.
Good.
I think it's very, very problematic that we're already talking in these terms, like the season's over, when the reality of the situation is we have got a chance of winning a trophy and getting Champions League football all in one. So I don't see why I should be at this point saying, oh, how the V going? How's this going? Because at the end of the day, we haven't won a trophy in 17 years. And I would say put the Europa League above the Carabao Cup in terms of prestige. So I would say that if Ange does win the Europa League, he would have been in charge of our best season since 1991. And if he does do that, then I think there is no reason to sack him, but we should keep going. And this is why I'm a bit annoyed, especially at the last call who said, oh, it's terrible to be a Spurs fan. Well, I mean, we're in the semi-final of the Europa League. We are 3 games away from Champions League football. I really would hate to see that guy, if he was a Scunthorpe United fan who got relegated twice in a row and now sitting in National League North. It's this is.
But Ben, that's all relative. Ben, that's like me saying, oh, I don't want that food, and someone saying, oh, well, there's countries, third world countries where they don't have any. It's a relative point. We don't support a national league team, do we?
Regardless of what you think as a manager, this is we are 3 games away from Champions League football. This is the time where we need to be absolutely getting behind the team and putting all our differences aside as fans. We should not be squabbling with each other about he's going to manage these 3 games. I personally think we are going to win the Europa League, and I saw yourself. You also said that Spurs.
I do. I think he's going to shithouse his way to a Europa League. Yeah.
Right, and but how would you justify sacking him if he does that then? Because
easily, easily, I easily justify it. Easily, Ben. Come on, you come to the wrong place for this. Look, Ben, I'll show you. I'm going to show you one picture that sums up Tottenham Hotspur under Ange Postecoglou. Right? I'm going to show you one picture. By the way, your phone is shaking like that. It looks like you're just shaking. Just so you know, it's all right, man. It's all right. So I'm going to show you this picture. This is Tottenham Hotspur under Ange Postecoglou. We are about to have our most defeats ever in a season. We are about to have our lowest points tally in a season ever. We have lost more games at home in a season than ever, right? So when you're saying the Europa League, I'm going to throw this back at you. As a football fan, do I want to win the Europa League? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a football fan, can I acknowledge that this man's going to win the Europa League without having to beat anybody of note? We have beaten... Hang on. I'll let you go. Didn't I? We have beaten nobody of note. Not one team we have played, I've gone, this is going to be tough. He's beaten nobody. He's scraped through, beaten nobodies, got a lovely draw all the way to the final, right? He should be winning this. No Champions League teams get knocked down. He should be winning this, right? So for me, if he wins it, the reason I still want him sacked, you want to see why the reason I still want this man sacked? Shall I show you? I'm going to show you, Ben. Ready? This is why I still want this man sacked. Now, I don't know if you know, but in
You're
football,
going to show the league table.
Damn
Yeah,
right,
okay.
I'm going to show you the league table.
Yeah.
Ben, we have lost 18 games of football.
But
that is not acceptable at Tottenham Hotspur. 18 games and counting.
Okay, but can you scroll up the league table for me? Can you show me like the top teams?
Sure. Here we go.
Right. Okay. So you see Nottingham Forest there in 4th.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they would, as it stands, are getting Champions League football, and
sure.
Right. Okay. And let's say if they, are they still in the FA Cup?
Just they're in the semi of the FA Cup.
Right. Okay. So let's say if they don't win the FA Cup, they would have got Champions League football and won no trophy. If we win the Europa League, we would have got Champions League football and won a trophy. So we would have had a better season than them.
I understand how the rules work.
Yeah, but that's important.
But Ben, are we just going to ignore the last 18 months of football under this manager? Ben, this man is setting records. Every week we are being embarrassed in the media because he's setting records on defeats, goals conceded, number of home defeats, number of times we've gone behind. What does an easy cup run, Ben? Does an easy cup run mitigate those circumstances?
I think if you would speak to a lot of Bundesliga fans, they would be shocked if you would see that Frankfurt away at Frankfurt is an easy game. It is not an easy game by any means. Their home record this season has been good. So to say that it's all been easy.
Ben, we're not going to do this. Ben, I asked you a question. You've given me a complete load of nonsense about something else that we've not talked about.
Okay.
I'll ask you the question again. Does this cup run in the Europa League mitigate the last 18 months where we have been truly shocking, Ben?
Okay,
and
so I'm going to answer your question, and the answer is yes. Yes, and I'm going to give you an explanation.
It mitigates it.
Well, yes, because basically we haven't won a trophy in 17 years. You're talking like with Man United or Arsenal, like Chelsea, who win several things. We are not at that level where we can be kind of picky. Winning a Europa League is what basically it massively stops. You always talk about stopping the rot. It massively stops the rot in terms of our, this is our longest trophy drought in the club's history. We were never going to win the league at the start of the season anyway.
Sure. And let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question then, Ben. All right, we win the Europa League. We're in the Champions League. We keep Ange. What changes next season in his style of play and the number of games we lose?
So, well, you've already acknowledged that, against Frankfurt, when it's really mattered, when it's really counted, he makes those changes that are necessary.
That's not why I asked. What? Yeah, but he doesn't change. His BAU, his business as usual, never changes. So I'm asking you, we win the Europa League, we make Champions League football. I say, thank you, Ange, for that. See you later. Now let's get a proper manager in. Because what will change next season?
Well, if we change managers, then
with Ange. What will Ange change next season? Because people like you, Ben, told me last season, watch what he does in his second season, right?
Yes.
Let me call you out now, Ben. No, I'll tell you what, I've had enough. I'm going to call you out now, Ben. I'm going in, right? I hear from fans like you, especially, and you specifically, last season, you don't know Ange. You watch what he does. If you look at his trajectory at this country, this club, that club, he needs to be at the bottom of the V. This is what he does. He then goes like that. Now, none of that has happened, Ben. None of that has happened. He's got worse and worse and worse. Hang on. He's got worse and worse and worse and worse. So now what we're doing is we're pivoting towards, well, don't worry about that, but we've had a cup run in the Europa, so he should stay. But none of the stuff you told me would happen has happened. Why not?
Well, again, you're totally and utterly factually wrong on that, because last season we did not make Champions League, and this season, you actually predicted yourself we are going to make Champions League, which is an improvement. Factually speaking, you always talk about facts. That is the fact of the matter.
But you do realise that's not what I just said, right? I'm calling you out on what you said, right?
What I said, yes.
you told me, Ben, you told me that throughout this season, things would get better and we would hit the bottom of the V and come back out of it.
Yes, and I think the Europa League run is proof of that, we are improving as a team. You can't just ignore the successes and only acknowledge the failures.
No,
you know.
but Ben, so you're telling me one away win against Frankfurt means that we
That's
are
not the only game this season we've won in the Europa League.
Okay, AZ Alkmaar, really? Ferencvaros, Karabag, Elfsborg. These are examples to you that we're improving as a team.
Those are not, those teams are not walkovers by any means. You can.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Ben.
But
yes, they are.
AZ Alkmaar turned Galatasaray over. They look very impressive against Galatasaray, and I was actually quite nervous about playing them. They do look, I don't buy them by any means. I wasn't not confident about that game, and we, Odegaard turned up, and we got the job done.
Dude, this is the thing. What I love the debate with someone like you, because what you've done is you've dramatically overpraised a very average football team to bring them to our bad level. That's what you've just done there. This Europa League run, first of all, has been horrific. If we're going to be honest, I don't remember us playing well in a single Europa League game. We have
the results. You always told me that results matter, and we've got the results.
But sure, Ben. Okay, but if results matter, talk to me about the 35 defeats in 18 months.
35 again. So the league form is not good, but the Europa League form more than makes
No. You don't get to do this. The league form is not good. Is the biggest understatement I've ever heard from a football fan ever. Do you know, Ben, off the top of your head? I just need an answer, not a monologue. Do you know if we look since the first game we lost under Ange, which was 18 months ago, right? Against Chelsea, do you know where we would be in the form table for those 18 months of football? Do you know?
15th?
Yes or no?
15th.
Huh?
It's like 15th.
And you're absolutely bang on. And you think that being 15th for 18 months is acceptable because we've beaten Frankfurt and AZ Alkmaar in a cup?
Again, it all comes down to those last 3 Europa League games. I've already said that. If we do that, we've made Champions League football and we've won a trophy.
Sure.
We've not won a trophy for 17 years. That you cannot ignore that. I
can ignore that. I can completely ignore that.
This is the exact problem with Spurs fans.
No, Ben, don't you give me the problem with Spurs fans. The problem with Spurs fans is you sitting there acknowledging that 15th for 18 months is acceptable. Let me ask you this question. Why has Ange not improved anything in 18 months?
Sorry, so you're saying that a trophy would not be an improvement?
No, listen to the question. You've got the habit of doing this. I like this. I've said this to you before when you come on. You're a politician. I'm a very basic South London lad. I'm going to ask you a question in layman's terms. What has Ange improved in 18 months?
I think he's improved the winning mentality of the team. If we win a trophy, that would show that winning mentality.
Wow. Guys and girls, wow. Ange has improved the winning mentality whilst we're about to have our worst ever Premier League season.
Right, so what you do is you don't win a trophy for second place, you don't win a trophy for third place, you don't win a trophy for fourth place.
Ben, think about what you've just said. He's improved the winning mentality. We're about to have our record number of defeats. Where's the winning mentality?
Again, it's because we are 3 games away from winning
talking about the Europa League. I'm asking you about the Premier League. Ben, answer my question. You keep doing this. Talk to me about the Premier League, right? That is what he's paid to manage. Why has he improved nothing in 18 months? Why have we got worse in 18 months?
That is a incorrect statement to say that we only care about the Premier League. The owners only care about the Premier League.
Ben, I'll cut you off if you don't answer my questions. That's not what I said. Ben, I am speaking plain and clear English. That's not what I said. I'm asking you about the Premier League, right? The Premier League is where Spurs' bread and butter is. The Premier League is where Daniel Levy makes his revenue from finishing high up in the league. The Premier League is where for the last 20 years, we have finished in the top 6, 15 or 16 out of the 20 years, right? The Premier League is where we have not finished bottom half for over 20 years. The Premier League is the bread and butter of any club. So I'm going to ask you this question without you mentioning the Europa League. Why has he not improved a single thing in 18 months, and why have we got worse?
Well, no, because I've already said he's improved the winning mentality and keen team chemistry of the team. You know, the players are clearly still behind him and clearly supporting him.
Players are clearly still behind him.
Oh yeah, did you not see that passion in that Frankfurt game? Did you not see how committed the team were? Did you not see that? So did you not? Were you not proud of watching your team?
So going back to what you said, this is the point. When I said to you, so one win against Frankfurt, your answer was no, other games. All right, the players are still playing for him. The players are still playing for him. Why have we only won 1 in 7 league games against Southampton if they're playing for him?
Again, the league, it's very hard to be passionate about a competition which doesn't matter anymore. The league does not matter. The only thing that matters is the Europa League.
7 games ago, the league did still matter. What you're doing here, no, Ben, yes, it did. What you're doing here is, you're very clever. I bet you went to uni and did some really wanky course like political science or debate or something, because you don't answer a question with an answer, right? 7 games ago, right? We've got 5 games left. 7 games ago, that would have been 12 Premier League games and 36 points to play for. You're telling me that 36 points to play for in the Premier League means nothing?
Well, if it doesn't end in a trophy, then yes, and we already were out of contention of winning a trophy. So if you don't win a trophy, it doesn't matter. Right.
Okay. So let's put it this way. So now every Premier League season doesn't matter according to you, right? If we don't win a trophy.
Again, there are 4 places in the Premier League I'm interested in. First place, 18th, 19th, 20th. Nothing else matters.
Okay. So, let's bring this back to the simple premise, right? So nothing else matters. So why does every single club try and get top 4 every year? Why at the moment are Villa, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, City and Forest all in a 5-way battle for the top 5 if that doesn't matter?
So again, I'm a traditionalist. I do not believe in this media hype of top 4. I do not believe in the media hype for top 4. I consider 4th place, 3rd loser.
Okay, so Ben, I'm going to pick your argument apart very simply, right? You, less than 10 minutes ago, said to me, right, that we could secure top 4 that gets Champions League football.
I said Champions League. I didn't say top 4. I said Champions League football because that's what you care about.
Okay,
and
right,
a trophy.
You said to me we could win the Europa League that secures Champions League football, and if we do that, how can we sack the manager? So when
the trophy was the main part in that, by the way, not the Champions League football. The trophy was the main.
Of course it is. Have you noticed how much you change the goalposts, Ben?
I don't change the goalposts. No, I always.
Ben, you didn't say. Can I just say to you, right, Ben? Right, I like you. You're funny. I'll give you. You're funny. But this is not what you said to me the last time you came on my show. And this is the beauty of me having the footage to that. None of what you're saying now is what you said about Ange. None of what you said is what was going to happen. None of what you said then is what you're saying now. You are changing the goalposts because Ange has done what I said he was going to do. I said he was a dreadful manager. He has been a dreadful manager. He has got currently the worst points per game ratio this season in the club's history. And you're sitting there going, he's improved winning mentality because of 1 win against Frankfurt. This is utterly shambolic and embarrassing. You understand that, right?
No, I don't think it's shambolic, or I think it's embarrassing. Sorry.
Ben, do you know what our points per game is this season?
Again, you don't get trophies for points per game unless you win the league.
Not what I asked. Answer the question.
You're the reason why.
Answer the question.
The reason why Spurs fans have been laughed at for so long is because you never win anything. Your trophy cabinet is dusty and stuff like that. Well, if Ange Postecoglou wins the Europa League, no one's going to be laughing at us then.
Of course they will. Of course.
Why
Do
would
you know
they?
what? You're wrong, Ben. You're wrong. They're going to laugh at us because of the season we've had in the Premier League. We are being mocked. We are being laughed at, Ben, by everybody other than Ange In fans like you. We're being mocked already. This
Okay,
manager's going to get the sack whether he wins it or not. And you know why? You know why? Because Daniel Levy gives a shit about league position.
Okay, but I'm not Daniel Levy. I'm my own person. I have my own
Thank
criteria.
God you're not Daniel Levy. Do you know what? I'm going to stick up for Daniel Levy. Thank God you're not.
Well, because I want to win trophies.
Fans like you, but Ben, no one else has said they don't want to win a trophy.
But it doesn't seem like a priority for you. You only care about league position. No,
Ben. Don't come on my channel and lie about what I've said, dude. That won't end well for you, right? That won't end well, Ben. Trophies are a priority, right?
Okay, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And
let me finish. Trophies are, of course, a priority. If we finish 16th or 17th, that completely overrides anything for me. That shows that we have been dreadful. That shows that your manager, he ain't my manager, mate. He is not my manager. That shows that your manager is an utter shit show. He has lost 18 games in 33, Ben, and you're trying to sit here and justify to me about the problem with Spurs fans. You are justifying him losing 55% of our league games this year. Have a look in the mirror. This is utterly, utterly embarrassing. You should be embarrassed. Are you not embarrassed by 33 games and 18 defeats? Does that not embarrass you?
Again, every Spurs fan before the start of the season said, "What is the priority this year? What is the priority this year?"
No, not every Spurs fan would have said the Europa League.
You're saying they didn't?
You're saying that... Ben, there's a huge difference between saying winning a trophy is a priority and saying, yeah, but I'll happily finish 16th or 17th. Two things can be true at once, Ben.
Okay, so Savva, what would you rather finish? 4th and no trophy, or 17th and a trophy?
Sorry, ask that again.
What would you rather do? Be 4th and win no trophy, or be 17th and win a trophy?
17th, win a trophy, sack the manager for being shit. It's that simple.
Okay, so
you're trying to catch me out. I see what you're doing.
Okay, Ben, but would you sack a manager for finishing 4th and no trophy?
Ben, I do this for a living. You're not catching me out, mate. The problem with
question.
Ben, the problem with fans like you're trying to catch me out on technicalities, right? Not going to happen. I have been very clear. I've hated this manager for 18 months. I have not been wrong about him in any way, shape, or form. He has been absolutely dreadful. He has got the luckiest cup run ever. And if he wins it, fair play. He won it. You only beat what's in front of you. I don't want him managing my club moving forward. He has ruined all the young players at this club. None of them are getting a chance. The only one that's getting to play is Bergval, who was his first young signing. He is ruining all of our academy kids aren't getting a chance. Romero's not improved. Adogi's not improved. Porro's getting worse. Papasar's not improved as a player. Kulusevski's not improved. Son's got worse. Solanke's not improved. He has not done anything for this football club in the bigger picture. If he wins the trophy, we do what Man U did. Right? We do what Chelsea did.
How's that going for them? You know? How's that going for them?
Ben, and what's the difference? Do you know the funny thing is, Ben? The funny thing is, when you're saying how's that going for them, that man's been there, 4 months, had one signing, no summer to work on. Your manager, not mine, has had 4 transfer windows, £400 million, and 2 years to coach this team, right? Ben, what you're seeing on the pitch, do we look like a coach team?
Yes, we do in the Europa League, and we definitely. And I didn't even think we were that bad against Nottingham Forest either. We did have chances. We were
2-0 down in 15 minutes because of his tactics. What are you watching?
It wasn't his tactics. I mean, the first goal conceded was a corner, and it was a deflected goal from a corner. That's not. I wouldn't put that on his tactics. That was just bad. Like, you can't just put, and the funny thing is, I guarantee you, if there was a bomb that went off in the stadium tomorrow, you would probably find a way to blame it on Ange.
Dude, Ben, do you know what? Do you know what I love? I'm going to end this call here. I'm going to end this call here with you. Do you know what? Do you know the shame with life? The shameful thing about life is it's okay to be wrong, right? And Ben, the last time we spoke, everything you said to me, none of it has happened. And I thought, you know what? Ben might be coming on with a little bit of humility here to say, you know what? I was really wrong about Ange. But you've come on and you are waffling that you think the tactics are good. You think he's instilled winning mentality. Where was the winning mentality when Liverpool slapped us 4-0 in a semi-final of a competition? Where was the winning mentality when
You're not going to
Aston
mention
Villa...
the absolute, like, how a squad were
No, let
absolutely
me
tired
finish.
and absolutely massacred in those games? Yeah.
But Ben, so I love the way that we've got the winning mentality when we've beaten easy teams in the Europa League, but any other competition, the winning mentality doesn't seem to matter to you.
What, you're not saying that basically having a massive injury crisis would not hurt any single manager? You're not going to say Liverpool
Ben,
played a
for
weakened
someone
team and
that
lost to a
likes
championship team in Plymouth?
For someone that, okay, Ben. So since all the players have come back, why has the form got worse than it did with the injuries?
Since all the players,
Why?
And
Why?
since the players have come back, we are going on a very impressive cup run and looking in favour of winning the Europa League.
A very impressive cup run.
It is.
Ben, I'll see you later, mate. Dude, do you know what? You've got the manager you deserve and the club you deserve right now.
And I'll be celebrating the Europa League trophy.
So will I. And then I'll be celebrating when your manager gets sacked. And when he does, you can jump on my channel and cry.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I had to get rid of him. Just no humility. Again, looks like Big Mike, how you doing? You're on mute. You're on mute, mate. You're on mute.
Yo, what are you telling me, Sav? You all right?
Yes. I just have no words for fans like that condone losing week in, week out. I have no words for it.
Absolutely shocking. Do you know what I mean? Shocking mentality, shocking behavior from Ben. Sorry, Ben. I don't want to be that guy, bro. But you're supporting a fraud. I'm going to be honest with you. You're supporting a fraud, in my opinion. The guy came in, he sold us all the dream. I believed in the dream. I'm not going to lie at the start. First 10 games, yeah, Ange, we're flying. Wow, look at us. Like you said, 18 months later, next season, 18 league defeats. I think we're like 1.1 points per game ratio or something at the moment. We are shocking.
1.11.
1.11. You know what I mean? Let's round it down to 1.1, yeah? And my man's telling me that he's the man to take us forward. He's taking us backwards. This is worse than the 90s, in my opinion. It's worse than the 90s because at least I saw some fight. I saw something. Now, it's like you said, what are we watching right now? So Ben's wound me up, I'm not going to lie. I've had to come and just get off my chest quickly because I support a lot of what you say, Savva, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't agree with everything, but I do support a lot of what you say about this manager. He's got to go.
But Big Mike, by the way, right, I didn't set up my channel so everyone has to agree with me, right? But what I do like is I like to have the chat. If we're wrong, we're wrong. If we're right, we move on. But I genuinely thought, because the last time I spoke to him, he started waffling some bollocks about, I was about to use my first name, Savva, when we hit the bottom of the V, you'll know, and then we'll bounce up. Now, all of a sudden, losing 18 games in the Premier League is being overshadowed because we beat Frankfurt by scoring a penalty. I just don't get it, mate. I don't get it, Mike.
I mean, I suppose, when the bar has been set so low, yeah, the bar is so low right now that the expectations are just, hey, man, just win the Europa League. Don't worry about the league. In any other season, go and look back in the last 20 years, we'd be relegated. That's it. Bottom line, any other season, we'd be in the championship and we'd be looking at the return of Poch to win us the championship. It's a bloody disgrace. I've never seen, I thought Levy was going to sack him after the Everton game. We were 3-0 down in 25 minutes. Everton hasn't scored 3 goals in one half since 1980 before I was born or some wildness. Yeah, some mad, crazy stat. And I was like, yeah, this guy's gone at half time. And then we move into the Leicester game and we lose, 2-1. And I think, what's going on? He's going to go. And here we are today speaking with this manager in place. And I said what I said then, I'm going to say it again here on your show. I honestly believe if Mason had taken charge from that Leicester game till now, the results would be better. That's what I honestly believe.
I agree.
I believe this.
You know what? Ryan Mason, listen, by the way, and let me caveat, I have to caveat everything because I get clipped on everything. So I have to caveat.
Sure.
It's a sad world that I have to do that. But, at the end of the day, Ryan Mason needs to go when the rest of the management go. But
Yeah.
if you had Ryan Mason for the last 10, 15 games, he's not playing these stupid inverted fullbacks and stuff. So I completely agree with you. I think the worrying thing that we've got, Mike, is how are we seeing all of these? How are we seeing Savva slags off another dude? Come on, man. He was so disingenuous. How are we seeing all of these horrible records being broken and still backing it? I just don't get it. I don't get it at all, mate.
I'm going to answer that, yeah, but I'm just going to back you for that guy's comment. Listen, it's not that he's slagging off this guy or whatever. The opinion is just, I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. The opinion is ridiculous. We can't be supporting a guy with 18 league defeats in 33 games. I honestly, in my living memory, I've never seen anything like it. But sorry, to come back to the question, just negative record after negative record. You know, we're gonna lose at least half of our remaining games. Minimum return. We're gonna lose to at Anfield. We never win there. Even at our best times, we ain't gonna win there. So, but that's a loss. I mean, we got Palace. That's gonna be a tough game for us. We got West Ham. I swear they're gonna smash us in. That's how I feel. I just feel like we offer nothing under this manager. We've gone totally backwards. The coaching's gone backwards. Yeah, I just don't get it. I wanted to believe in Ange. Everything he says, I want to believe in. I want to support it. But his actions are not backing up what he's saying. Apparently, who we are now is just, we turn up at a Premier League game, lay down and get our tummies tickled. That's who we are. We're just mugs.
You know, do you know what I find funny? John Stokes, you're being, I feel like I'm seeing all your comments in the chat, mate. You're being a bit silly. I think you got to grow up a little bit. It's madness. But it's just everything, Mike. You know, in terms of let's flip it the other way. Imagine we don't win it. So we don't win it, finish 16th or 17th. Are we saying that the winning mentality is all based on winning one final? Because for me, I'm utterly disgusted how Spurs fans rate this.
For me, I 100% agree. First of all, winning mentality means you win every game. You win the friendlies, you win the pre-season, you win the league matches, you win the cup matches. You go into every game and you actually try to win it. That's how you improve a winning mentality. You go into a game, you go 1-0 behind and you turn it around and win 2-1-3. But when's the last time we've gone behind and turned it around for a win? Even a point. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just shocking. So there is no winning mentality. Yes, I agree with the Frankfurt performance. It's the best performance I've seen probably in the last 18 months. But because the bar's so low, it's like if you're starving. If I was starving and somebody gave me a cream cracker with no butter, it's going to be the best thing I've ever eaten because I'm about to die of starvation. But when I'm full belly, because you said everything's relative, it's like, hold on a minute, I've come into Gordon Ramsay's 5-star restaurant. I'm trying to get a steak, and this brother's serving me up doner kebab. Like, what is going on? Like, mate.
Can't be told though, Mike. Mike, these fans can't be told. Have a look at the state of people, right? Have a look at the state of someone like this guy. He always goes at me. Man, just Savva, the way you treated Ben is despicable. No, we had a heated debate. Big up. I love this. Properly backing the club. This is where we're at, Mike, right? These fans think that backing the club is just backing defeat after defeat after defeat. The big clubs wouldn't back this, right? The big clubs, their fan base won't say, oh, just back Ten Hag. Those Man United fans were like, get this guy out. Don't care that he's won 2 trophies. We're appalling. We've got fans like Catman Jess who would never have the bollocks to come on. He's one of them. No picture, no real name. Gives it the big one in the chat all the time. I see him. But would never bring his face on because he doesn't want his god-awful opinions associated to his face, right? People like me, I've been consistent. I said this manager's shit. He's proved to be shit. And we're now going, oh, the league don't matter. Well, hang on. At what point this season did the league stop mattering? Why do we play the league every year? Just put out the 11 kids for 38 games and just play the Europa competitions.
It's wild. It's that, like I said, the fan base. I think it comes. Look, I don't know Catman Jess. I'm not going to speak on how you spoke to him because I don't know you know him better than me. But I'll speak in that one comment though, yeah, because I've been a Spurs fan all my life. Yeah? I go to the games, yeah. I'm there. The last 2 games that I went to was I went to when we lost bloody 2-1 to Ipswich at home. I watched Smody score a bicycle kick in front of my face in my home stadium. But the game before that, we went. It was Villa at home, and we won 4-1. We went 1-0 down. We turned it around 4-1. I was so gassed up by the result. I thought, I'm going to go to the next game. We're going to win this Ipswich at home. We got this, yeah? And I'm watching Schmodies, a guy that I didn't even know. I'll never forget his name now. I will never forget it. Schmodies, bicycle kick in front of my face. I had to go look at my program. Who's number 23? Who the hell is this guy? He's Irish? I don't even look like an Irish name. So I'm sitting there like, I couldn't believe it. I bought a ticket to go to the Bodo Glimt home game. So I'm back in the team. I'm back in this team under this regime. So Catman Jess, you can't call out fans that don't rate this management and say they don't back the team. We want our team to win. That's why we're here expressing our disappointment, because we're not winning. And the thing is, I don't even think we're going to win the Europa League, I think we're still going to find a way to bottle it. That's my personal opinion. Yeah,
I think we'll win it. This guy has had the luck. Do you know what? Man. He's had all the luck in the world. Even Bodo Glimt missing their 3 best players through suspension to come and play us in the first leg. And it's like, hey, listen, if he wins it, absolutely. If he wins it, fair play. Doesn't mean I want to keep him, because I look at the bigger picture. He's not improving any players. This is what I'd love to ask somebody like Catman Jess if they came on, right? I'd love someone like this to come on. And by the way, yes, you do have a go at me, mate. I see your comments. I jumped into Ben's chat the other week, and the first thing you did was have a pop at me. Mate, I saw you. This is the thing. These work. These work. I see them, mate. I see them. The problem I've got, Catman Jess, and it's fine. Come on one day and have the grown-up conversation with me. The problem is, we all sit there and talk about how we want our clubs to do well and back the manager, back the club. This manager has alienated the press, alienated half the fan base. He's rude in interviews, right? What am I backing? We've lost 18 in 33. We've lost 30. Do you know we've lost something like 29 of our last 60 Premier League games? Like it's truly embarrassing. And people say, just get behind the team. It's not the team I'm not behind. It's the manager. Get the manager out and I'll get behind. I can't deal with, I just can't deal with it. But listen, Mike, I do need to let you go without being rude. I've got a few more before I need to. I was meant to be wrapping up at 7:30. I'm going to wrap up at 8:30. Thank you very much for coming on. Lovely to meet you.
It's a pleasure, sir.
And yeah, listen, and I love it, by the way. Everyone's messaging going, are you all right? I love it. I could do this all day. Take care. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
See you guys. Pick up the show.
See you, mate. Bye-bye. By the way, people in the chat, please keep smashing the like button. Don't feel we've got anywhere near the likes we deserve. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're working our way towards 17,500 now. We are on, well, we're a fair way off, but we've only had 3 subscribers tonight. Come on, people, get those subscribes in. Big up to Definitely Main. How you doing, sir? You well?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks, mate. Had a long day at work, but yeah, jumped on just in time. My main thinking with Ange actually comes down to how people hold Ange under these completely inconsistent standards compared to that of how they held Conte. Basically, I remember before Conte got the sack, basically people were just saying football was dreadful and all of this and all of that. They weren't really willing to give him time. And despite the fact that he got us 4th place with, dare I say it, a crap team the season prior. And to be fair, the form was dropping a little bit before he got sacked. But still, you could sort of say at least we were stringing a few results, scrapping a few games here and there, you know. But under Ange, it's just consistent. It's just consistent losses, consistent poor performances, consistent just, you can see the players are just clueless. They don't know what they're doing. And yet, basically, I'm just given countless excuses. And then when one excuse doesn't work anymore, it's on to the next excuse, you know. And I just don't get it. They were just so keen to hound Conte out at the first sign of trouble, and yet when it's just this consistent crap under Ange, it's just, oh, it's all right, you know, just give him time. Just
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? That, you know, and listen, I include myself in this, mate, as well. Is there are managers that I've not liked, right?
Yeah.
But I'm consistent. If I don't like a manager, I don't like a manager, right? It's just the way it is. But so many people seem to. This is the manager they want to. This is the manager they want to back.
I don't get it, mate.
This is the manager they want to back. Like, listen, I don't like Conte's style. Isn't particularly for me.
Yeah,
I said from day one, Conte's never going to work because Conte's a win manager right now. Give him what he needs, he wins. That's not who we are as a club.
Right, yeah.
But if people wanted him out and they're sitting and they're backing Ange, where's our pride? Where's our, as every other fan base is sitting and laughing at Tottenham Hotspur losing weekly, my friends aren't even mocking me anymore.
Yeah.
My friends feel sorry for me. They're like, yeah, you're right. You are shit. Yeah.
It's like, what can they mock when we already know how bad we are? You know, it's just a case. I'll be honest as well. Sorry to interrupt just there, but I was willing to give Ange all the time in the world. You know, I was one of at first. Let me be frank. At first, when he first joined the club, I said, look, we've been sacking managers kind of left, right, and centre. Why don't we actually give someone a go for once? And I was willing to give him a go. I remember after this Chelsea match, when we had all these injuries happen, I was like, look, there's probably going to be a bit of a rough patch. I'll stick with him for a bit. Then after the injuries, we had this sort of inconsistent patch. You know, we won games here and there. We had some annoying losses, but, you know, it's just a bit inconsistent. And then I thought, okay, right, well, that was an inconsistent finish. I'll tell you what, let's see how pre-season and the start of next season is. If it hasn't improved by Christmas, get rid of him. That was basically my stance. I remember all my mates at the time were Ange In as well, and they said, that's fair play, mate. Anyway, I watched pre-season, and basically every pre-season game, I was just sort of watching it with my hands behind my back of my head, like, what on earth is going on? It did not instill confidence in me.
Yeah.
And then we get to the first few games. I remember we drew at home to Leicester, and I was thinking, this season's not going to go the way people have been saying it's going to go. And then we got to Christmas, and it was just, he just needed to go, mate. To be honest, deep down, I thought he needed to go after that Ipswich loss. Just losing at home to Ipswich, it wasn't even like we got unlucky. They kind of just sort of showed us our arse, and we just weren't really up for it, you know. I just don't know why we've given him this amount of time, you know. I just don't know, man.
Yeah, you know, listen, God, they're having a debate in the chat now about whether I was bullying and brutal with that Ben guy. Jesus Christ. If people want to come on and have a proper set to debate, I didn't bully him in any way, shape or form. Right? Can we stop this? I'm not saying you said this, PMZ, but there's people talking about it in the chat. Look, the last thing I'll say, definitely, I've got a few that want to come on.
That's absolutely fine, mate. I
was meant to be jumping off at 7:30. The last thing I'll say on it is this. I make you right. I didn't want him coming into this season. I thought that the last half of the second half of last season was just atrocious. It was dreadful. They gave him the excuse of injuries. All the players came back and he was shit. This season, we've had the same thing again. We blamed the injuries. They've come back. We're shit. I don't know. Look, there you go. You don't have a go at me, but you say you are a bully, Savage. A young man we love for the same club as you, and a real man wouldn't have treated him how? I let him stay on for longer than anybody else. What are you?
In my view with that stuff, you didn't personally insult him, so I don't see how you can call it bullying. You just have a different opinion, and you got heated. That's all I saw, really, mate. But
told you, I'm about to bully right now. Dickheads like this, no name, no picture, right? They sit there and say these things from their ivory tower. I'll say it to someone's face. Come on, Catman Jess. Let's see.
One more thing, Sav. Sorry, to be honest, the majority of the bullying that I see, the majority of the insulting over opinions that I see, it doesn't come from the Ange outside. It comes from the Ange inside. I remember the Reddit is. I'm a Reddit user, to be honest. I don't go on X anymore, but the subreddit r/coys. basically I just get downvoted to absolute crap on there whenever I just had an opinion that was sort of criticising Ange. It just could never be Ange.
Oh,
And I'm
you're not
never
allowed.
insult for opinions. Yeah.
You're not allowed. Listen, I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you go. I've got a few people.
Fine,
By the
mate.
way, I've got a few people. I've got 10 minutes and 4 people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Half 8. Big up to you, my man. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate
letting me
it.
on, mate. Thank you.
No worries, man. No worries. It's Jesus Christ. Makes you laugh, right? People want to see debates, and then when you have a debate that's fiery, they get all upset by it in the chat. Big up to is it Haneda?
It's Haneda.
Haneda, how are you, sir? You well?
I'm doing good. How are you? You can hear me all right, right?
I'm good. I'm good. It's yeah. Listen, I thought people understood my channel. If they come on to debate, we're going to debate. But people in the chat really do. And by the way, Matty K, the reason you got timed out, sir, is you don't go around telling people I'm bullying people. You just don't do it, mate. It was a football debate. Don't do that here, Matty. So grow up. Don't say that shit. You won't get timed out. That's simple for me, mate. Sorry, sir. As you were, what's your point? What would you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I just wanted to say that I'm in the similar viewpoint as you and as many others. I think I joined the Ange Out group a bit later than other people.
Yeah.
I was officially Ange Out when he lost to Brighton, when he lost the 2-0 lead. I thought, I know Stell, for example, was Ange Out during the summer transfer window because we brought in Timo Werner and things like that, and it just wasn't to the level, which I agreed with, but I still wanted to give him time to see what he could do with the players that he got. And yeah, I was not impressed. I mean, it just wasn't to the level. I mean, I think the argument that we have right now is like, what's the standard, right? Like, what standard do we have compared to the Ange In people? Like, what are their standards? I just kind of want to understand that. But I hold this club to a pretty high standard. I've never seen them lift a trophy, and I do want them to lift a trophy. I will, respect him if he, gets the Europa League trophy, but that doesn't mean I want him in, right? I would want him to go, just like the Ten Hag situation. He won the FA Cup, and they were in a bit of a pickle. Do we keep him? Do we let him go? My brother is a big Manchester United fan. He's been a fan of the sport before I was. So he's been religiously following Manchester United for like the past 12 years or so. And he wanted Ten Hag out even though they won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Because he has that standard. And he knows that this guy, yes, he won the cup.
Big clubs, big standards. Big clubs,
Exactly.
big standards. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep,
so he had that standard, and he said that this guy can't reach that standard. Yes, thank you for the cups. These are great memories, but it's not going to cut it. And a few months later, they had to sack him eventually, right? I mean, had they brought in their Amarim in the summer,
well, we've got to learn from that, right? Like, I always hear this argument from people that, oh, how do you sack a manager that wins trophies? Well, big clubs do it all the time. Chelsea won a Champions League with Roberto Di Matteo, sacked him. Yeah. Leicester won a Premier League title with Claudio Ranieri. The next year didn't start well. See you later. Man United won an FA Cup and a League Cup under Ten Hag. It's only at Spurs where we seem to think like this notion. I hate this notion. I keep being told, oh, Savva, you said you'd be happy with finishing 17th and winning a trophy. Nah, wrong person. Never. For me, one doesn't offset the other. Now, I'd say to you, if we finished 7th, 8th, 9th, right? And won the cup and won a trophy, you go, okay, not a good league season. But this is beyond not a good league season. This is a shambolic league season. And that's why I got so heated with Ben is on one hand, you're talking to me about winning mentality. And on the other hand, you're talking about 18 defeats in 33. For me, both those two things can't coexist, can they?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can take it if you see a fight, not the 17th part, of course. No, I mean, I was someone who earlier said that I would take mid-table, but when I say mid-table, I want to see a team that fights consistently, right? That shows some level of consistency, commitment, and playing for the badge, not just in one competition, right? Not just the Europa League. I mean, it's good that we're in the semifinal. I hope we go all the way. I know the gentleman before, Ben, he was saying that he will celebrate the win. I mean, we haven't gotten there yet. We still have 2 legs against Bodo Glimt and a prospective final against Bilbao at their home stadium, or Manchester United, who have European and trophy heritage in general. So, we haven't won anything yet. So let's pump the brakes on that part.
Of course, man. Of course. Listen, at the end of the day, if we win the trophy, great. If we win the trophy, I would bloody expect us to. I think we've had a very nice run. I think that, there isn't anyone personally that we've played that I've gone, oh my God. So yeah, listen, look, thank you for your call. I really appreciate you. And next time I do one of these, jump on, we'll have a bit of a longer chat.
Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, mate. Take care. We're going to wrap up soon, but Corey, is there any way me and you can talk off air? I know you've been waiting, but I've got one more person, and then I really do need to jump out. Where are we? Big up Frankly Tottenham. I think your camera's stopped, mate. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. How are you, sir?
Good. Big respects to you, Savva. You weren't bullying Ben. I mean, that was a pretty good debate in while I was watching. I just like to say to Ben, like, isn't this the first season that the 3rd and 4th place teams in the Champions League haven't gone down to the Europa League? I mean, we got a really easy go of it to get to the semi-final of the Europa League, and if we don't win it, it's going to be a double embarrassment, don't you think? The league and not winning it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. At the end of the day, is your name? I'm guessing it's not Frank. I thought it might be Frank at first.
Frank.
It is. Frank. Okay, Frank. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, Frank, my issue is this: Tottenham were the favourites to win this Europa League, right? No clubs drop down anymore from the Champions League. We've had a nice run. It has been a night. It has been a nice run, right? But we're going on as though everyone's going on as though we've been destroying everyone before us. We scraped through past Alkmaar, scraped through past Frankfurt. I don't think we've looked good in the competition at all. And sure, it doesn't matter who you beat if you win it, but that for me doesn't take over for how bad this manager's done for 18 months in the league.
It makes me really mad. I've been a supporter since 1973. And it makes me really mad that I saw the greatest football in the 80s with Huddle, Waddle, Mabbott, all those guys, Perryman. Like, it was just beautiful, beautiful stuff to watch. And I wish the younger kids could, like, feel that feeling. And when they say, oh, I'm Ange In, I'm like, this guy is taking the piss out of what Tottenham used to be. You know, he doesn't try different formations. He doesn't even try wing backs in different games. I mean, half the time I don't know what he's doing. He played a back three, I think, twice in the second half of a game. I mean, he just thought it's just I don't know what people see like Ben, and people that say that he was bullied. That's just they're just trying to goat you. I thought
it was a good debate. Listen, I thought it was two people going at it, but unfortunately,
I thought
people going, "You did bully him. You did. You bullied him."
I thought he was bullied. I actually thought he was bullying you in a liberal kind of way. You know what I mean? He was trying to play with you, politics like kind of way. You know, like you would ask him a question and then he'd come back with a question. That's just typical. You know, I hate those tactics. Answer the freaking question, you know. And when people don't answer the question, it's like, you know, it's like all of us Tottenham supporters. If we don't win this Europa League, the only team that we should lose against, that we shouldn't be ashamed to, is maybe Man United. Bodo Clint and Club Brugge, we should not lose against those teams.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I agree with your point as well. That this is the thing. When I'm asking a question, I hate it when it's spun into a different question. You're like, hang on, that's not what we're talking about. Or hang on, that's not what I said. Like, oh, so you don't want to win it then? Whoa. I never said that. But Ben done this before when he came on, right? Well, look, Catman Jess, just chill. I've offered you to come on. You won't, right? And then you still sit there and say this sort of stuff. Said all of you are just stuck on Savva's because you are all too scared and get bullied and treated like those that have had the balls to disagree with him. No one's being bullied. This has to stop. This notion has to stop. What are we?
I've never seen you bully. You don't know me. You probably seen my name. I've given you super chats over the years.
Yeah. I see you. Appreciate it.
I've never seen you bully anyone. You just like to debate your opinion, and that's it. You're just getting trolled by idiots. That's all it's just, exactly. It's just, everything you said about the club. I mean, we're 17th. After going to the Champions League in 2019, if someone said in 2025 we would be 17th, I would actually bet like $5,000. No way we'd be 17th. It's an embarrassment.
And I agree. Why is the whole fan base not upset by it? Why is the whole fan base not frustrated?
Because they're married to women that blow up little pools and sit there with the margaritas and go, "Let's go Tottenham." I don't know what's going on with them. But the guys that love their Tottenham and the women that love their Tottenham, they get it. Get the core of it. It's an embarrassment to be where we are. We have forced ourselves right now to win that Europa League. We have to win that, and I hope the players realize what if we had a proper manager, that he would be giving them shit like you wouldn't believe in the locker room. He said, if you don't win this for the fans after them waiting so long, your name will be down in history as not, letting down Tottenham Hotspur, who are supposedly to be a top 6 team in the best league in the world. He's got to get it through him, because all I see is Ange. I don't see what's in the locker room. All I see is a guy standing there with his big long coat, looking. He's like he's a statue. I don't know what. And that's all I want to say, Sav. I know it's late in England. I'm in America right now. So thank you for your time.
No. Listen. Thank you very much for coming on. I've really, really enjoyed meeting you and getting to know you. Apologies if you felt bullied at any point. That's the world we live in. Frank, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll speak again. All right?
Yeah. All right.
Take care, buddy.
Take care.
Oh, guys and girls, so that is it for today. I really, really, really do need to go and eat and walk the dogs and all this kind of stuff. Listen, people have got to relax. I don't get it. People want to see a lively debate. The moment they do, they get really offended. I don't think I said anything bad to Ben at all. I shut his points down. We had a debate. I don't think I cussed him at all. I'm not sure what's going on. I've got Matty K getting timed out, getting all upset when he's telling people that I'm bullying them. Matty, I hate to break this to you. When you write that sort of thing, it's there forever, mate. People can see it, and you're telling people I'm bullying. So relax, calm yourself down, all right? Chill out, and it's going to be all right. Listen, I am going to leave it there. Listen, come on, Jess, you're always welcome on, right? You said I wouldn't be able to handle it if you came on. The link was there for 2.5 hours. No one saw you, right? And listen, I like having people like you in the chat, right? I like having people like you on the chat, but you're telling people I've bullied. I haven't bullied anyone. Me and Ben had a debate. He can't have hated it that much. We've done it about 3 or 4 times, me and Ben. He still keeps coming back. So just relax. No one's been rude to you. I put you in a timeout because you were being rude to people. Take care, everyone. And as always, I'll be back tomorrow. You'd rather go on a Real Spurs channel, but you're here. You've paid me tonight. Thank you for paying me. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., not 10, puppy training. And as always, Ange out, Levy out, and no one was bullied.